On October 7, 2023, the slaughter of the Jews by Hamas, that didn't happen because the Palestinians were not given a state. It happened because they were given a state. Hamas slaughtered Israelis in ways that are so monstrous, so horrific, that not a single network or cable TV platform will show you the videos that terrorists took while decapitating, gang raping, mutilating, burning alive, and slaughtering innocent young people at a music festival and innocent families at kibbutzim, basically farmers. I asked France, Germany, Britain, Spain, Ireland, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Finland, Iceland, and the rest of them who are now calling for a Palestinian state. Why won't you show your citizens what was done on October 7th?
Want to get it off your chest? You're in the right place. They accuse this show of being run by boobs. Well, let me tell you about us boobs. We're real and we're spectacular. Want politics and fun sprinkled with a lot of laughs? Heard in every state in the Union and 1,000 cities around the world. We just finished 16 years of broadcast excellence, now in our 17th year. The Dave Weinbaum Show is streaming live all over the world. Let me repeat Mark Levin. Hamas didn't attack because they weren't given a state. Because they were given one by Ariel Sharon, the prime minister, the leader of Israel, in 2005. They used their statehood experiment and the billions of dollars that followed from all over the world to build tunnels under mosques, schools, and hospitals, as well as their offices, the offices of Hamas, where they planned the murder of all Jews in Israel. As they say, from the river to the sea. This is the part that no one but Jews all over the world understand. If only Hitler did to the Jews what Israel did for Hamas, the Jews in Europe would have been deported to their indigenous home, recognized by all as Israel, the home of the Jews. Finally, after the abandoning of Gaza to Hamas, while being attacked from all over the world by people with blood libels against all Jews, after 10/7/23, someone woke the F up and decided that the murder of 1,300 men, women, children, babies with their heads cut off, murdered in one day, their strategy of mowing the lawn with each ceasefire was terminated. And with that happening almost every year for 17 years, it was about time to fight the battle with Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, Yemen, and Yemenis, and the Houthis. It was time to go to war and end the facade of being nice and killing as many of their leaders as possible until they gave up and returned the still kept in captivity, the 50 plus hostages they still hold after all this time. They are Arabs and hated by many in the Mideast. Do you see Jordan, Egypt, Qatar take the time to give them living rights in their lands? Israel must never fall for this again. But the real strategy for peace is Trump's Abraham Accords. Listen to what Levin's Truth tells us.
Hamas executes, tortures, starves, and brutalizes the Palestinians in Gaza. Why don't you show what Hamas is actually doing? Why are you knowingly and intentionally covering up for Hamas? Why aren't you reporting how they use their hospitals and mosques and schools and homes and other civilian locations as military installations from which to attack Israel, to store ammunition and arms as terrorist communication centers? Why are you censoring this information? Why are you knowingly and intentionally feeding lies to your citizens about Hamas, which is working hand in hand with the United Nations, UNRWA, is starving the people in Gaza the way Stalin starved his people to hold on to power, the way Mao starved his people to hold on to his power, the way Assad killed 600,000 of his own people, all Muslims, to hold on to power.
Hi there, and welcome to the Thursday edition of the Dave Weinbaum Show. I hope you all got the message. I put it out on all the notices on Twitter and Rumble, on YouTube, and look what dragged in just now. The opening act to the show, and we've been talking for a half an hour by now, and hopefully he's not spent. I know he isn't, but we're going to get to him in a couple minutes. I want to tell you who else to welcome, and that is we've got Rick Henderson down there in Salem. He does all the clips. Did a great job with the clips about Levin, and we've got JJ Bradshaw coming on. We got JP Maxwell here, the producer, and my lovely bride, Lisa Ann Weinbaum, who's smiling this morning. And it looks very nice, honey.
Thank you.
I like the outfit.
No small feet after oversleeping.
Yeah, well, I was going to try that on earlier, but I just didn't get to it. Sorry. Anyways, but it looks great, and you look great. We got a terrific show for you. We got after JJ. We got a lot of stuff going on. Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. This should be something, because now we have Netanyahu saying he's going to take over Gaza. So that's going to be interesting. We've got Chris Adamo, always a great American story from him. He has had experience now in fixing the state of Wyoming. Believe it or not, we've got Mark McCloskey. Lots of questions to ask him about, the 1-6ers who he's defending, both pardoned and otherwise. He knows everything that's going on. And the funny thing about that, when I run it by AI Grok on X, they don't know about him. They just don't know. Everything they're quoting me is from the Biden administration. And when I dig into them, then they uncover a little bit here and there. But they're definitely biased. And I told them that. I said, why don't you go to Mars and figure this out? Anyhow, we also have Karen Harris, who is a political expert on elections, and she's going to talk to us for a while. And with all that said now, I think we can start off early with our friend, opening act. This man is 256 years old. 7 years old. Really?
Yeah.
Did you just have a birthday?
I did, June the 6th.
Okay, 257 years old. I should have known that. Sorry about that. You don't look a day over 256.
Well, thank you.
No, you're welcome. And this man is he's an expert on the on everything that's in the Constitution, including the First Amendment, Second Amendment, and all the other amendments. And by golly, he was alive when it was mostly written, so he ought to know. Please welcome, all the way from Rolla, Missouri, John Jeffrey Bradshaw. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that, as always.
I am pleased to be here.
Yes, you're in your Army outfit and American flag, and you are a patriot. Yes, sir.
Got to be a patriot.
Yes.
Because what's the opportunity? What's the alternative?
Well, the alternative is to be an American hater and or a Democrat.
Be a Marxist, be a communist. No, thank you. I'll
Can you classify Democrats as hating America?
Oh, no question.
Yeah, I mean,
The current state of that party hates America because it's been run by the far left. As a matter of fact, Bill Clinton, who I dislike greatly, would be considered a moderate in today's Democrat Party.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, he would look very much Republican.
Yeah.
So that's how far left they've gone. And I don't see them coming back. I think that ship is sinking.
Well, JFK, I mean, he was kind of conservative, wasn't he?
JFK would look like an ultra-right conservative. He'd look like me right now in the political spectrum. Yeah. So the Democrat Party, I hadn't prepared to talk about this, but I'm willing to. They have gone way far left. And consider who their standard bearers are. AOC.
Yeah.
AOC, come on. This is a person with no value.
How about Mondani in New York, the upcoming mayor?
The socialists.
They have all landed on this guy's porch, even Pocahontas. Warren.
You think this clown can actually get elected?
Apparently, that's what they're saying. That he's probably got it.
That amazes me.
Well, and they're all waiting. All the people are waiting to see how many of the businesses shut down and move.
Yeah. How much damage is this guy going to do?
Well,
a lot.
He's not just a communist. He hates Jews. Mm-hmm. He's Hamas loving, and he's been quoted as saying "from the river to the sea" and stuff like that. Hating cops. Now all of a sudden, because some cops got shot, he come out and said, "Oh yeah, well, I didn't mean it that way."
We
love the cops now. Yeah, right. Free
Oh.
bail. He wanted a free bail for everybody.
And free groceries, free transportation, free everything.
State-owned grocery stores and tax the rich.
Margaret Thatcher said famously many years ago that if you keep having other people pay for things, sooner or later you run out of people that can pay for things. Now what do? That was not a very good quote, okay, but that was the thrust.
No, it's the truth,
said. So what do? As it is, New York City is gradually sinking under its own weight. Yeah. And you throw this guy on top as icing on the cake with these crazy radical ideas. I'm still skeptical.
How much of the Soros's money is in this guy's pocket? And also the Democrats in Texas who are out there in Illinois now and some of the other Democrat states trying to redirect the elections in Texas.
I'm ready to talk about that.
Let's do it. I knew I'd stumble over something.
When the Democrats gerrymander, and that is redrawing electoral districts to suit their own political needs, when the Democrats do that, it's fine.
Sure.
As soon as the Texas Republicans attempt to do that, now the world is ending. Oh my God.
Democracy is over.
It's going to rain fire and brimstone upon us because of what these terrible Republicans are doing. So what do the Democrats do? They gather up and leave. Ken Paxton is the Attorney General of Texas, and he was quoted day before yesterday as saying, number one, let's drag them back here. Let's get the Texas Rangers, drag them on back here. But number two, let's fire them for dereliction.
Yeah.
Our House of Representatives is in session. They are not there. It's 150 folks in there, okay? They've got to have a 2/3 majority to pass anything. Yeah. That's 100 people. And they're short 10 or 12 or 15 because it's a very much pro-Republican House of Representatives in Texas. So the Democrats leave. They go to hellholes like Chicago, New York. Let's not forget New Jersey.
Right.
Places where they think that they are safe. Somebody's paying them $500 bucks a day
And who's paying for the plane? The plane and
like
all
to
that,
know that, wouldn't you?
and the hotels.
Me too.
And the champagne.
Where does that dark money come from? I bet George Soros has got his checkbook open.
And maybe an indictment and at least a push to get him to testify in front of a Congress.
Oh, I would love that.
And I think that's coming. I think it's going to be coming.
That.
Yeah.
Because this guy is dirty in so many ways.
Well, he's such a hater. He's a Jew. He's a Jew hater.
Yeah.
And always has been.
The thing about Texas, Greg Abbott has also said, Ken Paxton as well, that these people need to be drugged back here.
Yeah.
Trouble is the Texas Rangers on a civil matter, which this is, don't have any authority outside Texas. So they can't go to Chicago and drag these people back. Sooner or later, they're going to come back. This is their residence. And I believe that Texas will be waiting for them with open arms and handcuffs. So the fact that Paxton is willing to go after them at dereliction of duty, I don't know if that'll fly, but it certainly sullies them. It makes them look bad.
Yeah.
And gerrymandering, I mean, come on, gerrymandering happens all the time. It
Right.
happens in Illinois.
Right.
And here's the Illinois governor criticizing the Republicans in Texas for gerrymandering, and his own legislature in Springfield just got it done 3 years ago.
Yep.
Did it again.
Of course they do it.
So
they all do it.
So,
but this does not see, and Trump is right because it doesn't reflect the real election that just happened in 24.
That's right.
And there's at least about 5 more seats they could have had if there wasn't that gerrymandering that took place recently. So he's doing what everyone else does.
Hey, well, he's trying to set things right.
Right.
There are black districts in Texas around Austin and some around Houston who have been howling that with this redistricting, this redrawing of the map, we will no longer be represented. Well, I beg to differ. We got this thing called a ballot box. That's the way that you are represented. And don't tell me that artificially drawn all black districts actually benefit you in some way.
Yeah.
They can in the dirtiest political sense, but in real economic sense, they matter nothing. They matter not at all. So Texas is going to become a microcosm of the rest of the United States because this stuff is done all the time in blue states.
Sure.
Normally every 10 years after the results of the census come in. And here's another piece of this thing, which is so dirty. The census. The census should count citizens. It was intended to count citizens. Now they count everybody, and that includes these 10 or 12 million people that walked across the border without any documentation at all. Oh, by the way, you can get Social Security, you can vote, you can get welfare.
You can get a driver's license.
And now you get counted in the census.
That's right.
So gerrymandering is swung to the left.
Yeah.
And hard to the left. I think Trump is trying to.
Yeah. Can you categorize that as gerrymandering?
It is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. It's just another flavor of the same ice cream. Okay. You can redraw congressional districts.
But that's really illegal.
Well, of course it is.
Yeah.
But
is gerrymandering itself illegal? Because they all do it.
Every 10 years, those districts get redrawn.
Right. But with the aid of these illegal aliens,
now
you've got criminal.
You have tainted that process.
Yes.
And if you only count in a census citizens of,
that's cause for a civil war right there.
Well, don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
Guns are in the truck.
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay. Now, the point is, though, when the Democrats do this, everybody gives them a pass. It's all just fine. Oh, they're trying to come up with racial equity. They're trying to do all of these wonderful things. When the Republicans do it, the world is ending. Now, why do we have 2 sets of rules?
Well, because typically Republicans fall for that.
Because we're stupid.
They fall for that. So, we got to show them that we're really wanting to do right things.
Yes, we'll meet them halfway.
It's BS because you've convinced yourself now to lose.
Yeah.
You've just convinced yourself to lose. They're not going to compromise.
I am more of the person that would burn your frickin' house down with you in it if you're thinking about those sorts of things. But that's just me.
That's just you.
I'm a radical right-wing redneck from Raleigh.
Yeah.
And why would anybody care a hoot about
And I'm a little Jew from Chicago, where they're all liberals, by the way.
Yeah.
I grew up with a bunch of liberals, and I couldn't understand what the hell they were talking about half the time. And I still can't.
I don't have any liberal friends left. I've run them off.
I don't either.
I have a few liberal acquaintances.
I have a few acquaintances on the golf course, and they like to get in a little argument here and there.
Yeah.
I was sitting at the DNV the other day and talking to some guy, and he started talking about politics and this, that, and the other. And he says, do you know a guy named Dave Weinbaum? I says, yeah, I'm acquainted with him. He starts talking about me. And I'm looking at this guy saying, is he kidding? I swear to God, this happened.
It is a small world, Dave. I was walking into Price Chopper.
Yeah.
Two guys came walking out, two old guys. And they started talking to each other pretty loud. And one of them pointed at me and said, J.J. Bradshaw. I said, yeah, that's
who the hell was that?
That's me. Who are you? He said, you're on Weinbaum Show. We listen to you all the time. Well, okay. Small world. Small world.
I'd hate to have to paint it, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I'm glad that they weren't armed and they weren't from the other side. Well, okay. Can we get to the stuff I actually prepped for?
Go ahead.
Because
nobody's stopping you.
These conversations we have.
I know.
Free association.
Right.
And I get off on stuff that I didn't prep for. I got some names that I want to run past you.
Yes.
And you'll recognize all of these names.
Yes, probably.
Both Clintons, Bill and Hillary.
All right.
James Comey, Loretta Lynch at one time.
Yeah. AG, wasn't she?
AG.
Yeah.
Eric Holder.
Yeah.
Merrick Garland. Robert Mueller.
Yep.
William Barr. Jeff Sessions, Alberto Gonzalez. You might.
I don't know Alberto.
He was AG way back.
Oh, he was.
Clintons. So, what do these folks have in common? In the Epstein investigation, they're all going to be subpoenaed before the Congress to testify. So what, you say? The Epstein investigation is a nothing burger. It's not going anywhere. It's making a big splash. The problem is, some of these same names are going to be talked to by the Congress for January 6th.
Yeah.
Some of these names are going to be talked to by the Congress for Russiagate.
Right.
It's the same bunch of names.
But we're talking about this Russiagate is more than just a thing made up. It is actual collusion to commit treason.
Pam Bondi released she declassified and released 108 pages of very damning stuff against these folks. Dan Bongino, deputy director of the FBI. Don't ask me how he did this, okay? Maybe he talked to the janitor. I don't know. But he walks into a room and finds all these burn bags that if the Democrats had done this right, they would have destroyed this evidence a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Finds all this damning stuff in burn bags in some room. Now, it sounds a little fishy to me, but okay.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, evidence is showing up. Pam Bondi said on Newsmax the other day that she has got people coming out of the woodwork, whistleblowers who were there, who had something to do with these crimes, and of course were silenced.
Now was this? I might have missed this. Was this the 1/6 event?
No.
Or something else?
No, this is
okay. This is the stuff.
This is Russiagate.
Russiagate. Okay, because there's so much.
Yeah, the stuff all mixes.
It's mind-boggling.
That's why those names are so.
And this is the stuff that was denied every time they went to a meeting with Biden and whomever else was there, and suddenly after the 24 or 20 election. somebody who happened to be president of the United States that December decided to say, "Oh no, the Russia gate thing is true."
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I know it's true. Who was that? Barack Obama. Yes, it was.
What's so amazing about all of this to me is if that nasty little woman that ran for president in Joe Biden's stead, I have a hard time saying her name.
Kamala. I can say the name.
I dislike her so much. Had she won, Dave, none of this would ever come to light. It would have been buried so deep, shredded, burned, you'd never hear a word about it. That's the bad thing about power. Well, what happened? This thing blew up in their face and Donald J. Trump won. Surprise. He won on a rigged election, for Pete's sake.
They never thought he was going to survive the 2020 election.
The Russiagate thing was
stolen. By the way, was that not stolen? Do we know it now?
Yes,
it absolutely was. Everybody kind of knew it. And now we got proof.
See, you and me were wacko conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, we're always. Why are we right so much?
Well, because
I don't know if I'm not right about everything, but I'm right about just about everything that I've seen. I can check my own columns back in 2015.
Yeah. The point is that we were considered wacko conspiracy theorists because this sounded so outlandish and so impossible, and lo and behold, it came to pass.
And why were we able to do that?
Because we don't trust any of the bastards. That's why.
Okay. And we were reading the same news. We were watching MSNBC. We not a lot, but every once in a while we'd give it a look, trying to figure out what the hell they're talking about, and listening to a few other channels and watching what was coming out with the news services and things. It didn't make any sense what they were talking about.
We're trying to measure the wheat from the chaff, and there's so much chaff in this.
Yes.
We're looking for those little grains of the wheat, the things that make sense. This would be human nature. Human nature would do these things.
Yeah.
And we found them. And all of the liberals said, these guys are nuts. These are right-wing lunatics on some little podcast. Pay no attention to them. Let's shadow ban them.
And you got Biden coming out saying, basically, let's kill all these MAGA bastards. Yeah. And setting up people with the FBI to have them arrested and or have their Mar-a-Lago home searched.
General Flynn comes to mind.
And General Flynn, we're going to be talking about him because his buddy is Chris Adamo.
Years ago, you and I talked about what would happen when Donald Trump became president. One of the things I said back then, several years ago, first thing he's going to do is yank the security clearances of these folks, which makes them useless in their job. And at some point they leave. Guess what's happened to all of these folks that are working for CNN now, who are commentators?
Yeah.
They got their clearances yanked, including Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Good.
Yes, that needed to happen.
Sure.
And the Democrats would have done this to the Republicans if they had won. Of course they would. You'd have to be a lunatic to not assume that they would do the same thing. The difference is this is not being done for revenge. This is being done for law.
Yeah.
Remember the lawfare that they beat up Donald Trump with so very badly? Letitia James. Oh, yeah. By the way, she's being investigated for doing the same thing that
and so is Schiff.
And so is Adam Schiff.
You got to love that.
I do love that. During the impeachment hearings in the House, Adam Schiff, of course, led that second impeachment. And I watched a lot of that on C-SPAN, not because I enjoyed it. It was because I felt for the guy and I wanted to know what they had against him. And Adam Schiff led.
You felt for Adam Schiff?
No,
you felt for Donald Trump. Okay.
No, Adam Schiff. Oh, please. Please.
I'm sorry.
If he was drowning,
I had to make sure.
If he was drowning in a septic tank, I would push his head under it.
Okay.
That's the way that is. This is a worthless human being.
Oh, gosh.
There is no soul in this man.
Yeah.
But and now he's being investigated for the same thing that Letitia James claimed.
Isn't
Donald
that something?
Trump did. Isn't it?
Yeah.
This is one big circle, Dave, and it's coming back around.
Well, the thing about this that we're all looking at, and you mentioned earlier, well, what happens when the Democrats say you're just trying to overload us with these attacks and stuff like that. Well, these are actual crimes that can be proven, and they were just trying lawfare, anything they could throw in.
Yes.
Getting judges who are like Beesburg out there in D.C. to convict people who were innocent, Aragon or something his name was, just to nail him as like there was all the 34 indictments, 34 convictions. Well, that was all BS, and it was all run by who? It was run by Biden's State Department, by the DOJ, the FBI, and the works. They got them all now. They got them all, and because they were careless and didn't destroy this stuff, we have the proof. There's the evidence, and now we got to do something with it, because it's imperative for them to see what this does to you when you are actually doing the crime and have admitted so repeatedly.
And have evidence against you.
That's right.
Now, you and I talked a little about this before the show went live.
Yeah.
The statute of limitations has expired for a whole lot of these crimes, okay? It's 5 years and 7 years for federal crimes, other than capital crimes. And these, in most cases, are civil crimes. But these folks are thinking, I can't be prosecuted for any of this stuff. Statute of limitations is long gone. Evidence is well hidden. But if there is a continuing conspiracy, which I think a lot of this cover-up could be considered a continuing conspiracy, guess where the clock rolls up to? Present day. Now a prosecutor can go back as far as he or she chooses to expose evidence that would otherwise be covered by statute of limitations and be sacrosanct. Now, that's the way the prosecutors are going to go for this. This is a continuing conspiracy. And one would argue that some of this behavior is treasonous. In my redneck right-wing opinion, Barack Obama committed treason.
Absolutely.
When he did this to Donald Trump, he started this ball rolling.
Yeah.
And they're going after his minions, which makes sense. Maybe one of those minions is going to roll and agree to testify against him.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Some more dirt. Yeah, it's possible.
I think.
When you dangle a whole lot of prison time in front of somebody, they tend to be a lot more malleable. They tend to want to agree with what you want.
And you got a couple of guys in there that are actually testifying and claim he's testifying and not using the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a lot of stuff's probably coming out.
Will come out, yeah.
Well, it will come out, but it's already been testified to.
The congressional hearings, you and I have watched congressional hearings forever. And there's an awful lot of talk and an awful lot of lying and an awful lot of showmanship that goes on in those. And as a rule, very little occurs beyond that. You make all this noise and you expose all this graft and corruption, but nobody gets indicted. Nobody goes to trial. I think, but this is one redneck from Merrell opinion, I think this is going to go somewhere. I think there are enough people and the crime's egregious enough that our current DOJ will pursue it and win some of them. Good. Yeah. I'd love to see prison time for some of these people. Brennan is perfectly suited for prison. Absolutely. He's got that prisoner scowl already. So he is custom made to slide into a cell.
Clapper.
Comey.
I want to see Pelosi and how she see, this is where Mark McCloskey comes in, saying that Pelosi got together with General Milley.
Yes.
And they both said, do you think Donald Trump is crazy? And he says, yeah. She said, we ought to do something. So they decided, both of them, that Milley was going to call the Chinese and said, look, if it looks like we're going to go to war, call me first. Call me first, and I'll do something about it.
Speaking of Pelosi, traitor that she is.
Yeah.
You got less than a $200,000 a year salary working as House of Representatives or senator. How is it then that she is worth many, many, many millions? Well, it's insider trading. No question in my mind about it. Her and her husband are guilty of that.
She's hardly denying it either.
So are the Clintons. So are so many people in the Congress because they have knowledge, and knowledge is worth money.
Yeah.
Is she going to be pursued for that? God, I hope so.
I don't think so. The laws aren't strong enough for that. I don't think so.
And and the other side of that, you could sully her name and say, what a criminal she is. But she's a slimeball. She doesn't care. You can call her anything you want. She's been in the Congress forever.
Call her treasonous, and that's another story.
Well,
and prove it, and then you got another story.
What about the January 6th
And that's what
National
I'm talking
Guard?
about too. What about that? The National Guard? She's already admitted that she should have done it.
Yeah.
All right. Of
And
course,
she chose not to.
AI says, well, there's no record of that. You're full of it. I want you to know, Elon, I know you're listening. Would you fix your AI? They're terrible. They don't know anything unless it's something that's in favor of the Biden administration, as it was. Stop it.
There is a left-wing lilt to AI.
It's amazing.
And I don't do much of it.
I don't consider myself, as my wife will tell you, as very intelligent. So when I go to these things, I expect to hear good answers. Right, honey? Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you.
You want good answers? Come ask me. I'll give it.
Okay. Honey, I don't think he can replace you, though.
My intelligence.
I give him lots of good answers all the time.
What's
my
that?
Intelligence is completely artificial and fairly well defective. Okay. The point, though, is that so much, even just this week, so much has been revealed, which underscores my thoughts that these people are corrupt.
Yeah.
They've left a trail of breadcrumbs that, thank God, Pam Bondi and DOJ are pursuing. And it is my fervent desire that this be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I want Donald Trump regime to be a law and order regime.
Yeah.
And I think he's headed in that direction.
And I think maybe we're going to need another 4 years of Donald Trump. I don't know, but seeming that to me,
it'll be 8 years.
It'll be JV with, is it JV? JD with Marco probably
Rubio.
as vice president. This guy has come a long way. I'll tell you what.
See, if I had my choice, it would be JD Vance with Mark Levin as vice president.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
Levin will set him on
fire.
Levin
is not a young guy. Well, he's a couple years younger than I am.
He's a sharp guy. I love listening to this.
I went up to him at a convention, and I said to him, I says, hey, I'm Dave Weinbaum. If you ever need a replacement, I handed him my McDonald's card. He said, what the hell's this? You're going to bring me a Big Mac? I says, well, no. He says, he looks at me funny, and he says, are we related? Kind of look like each other. I says, yeah, you don't remember? We're twins. We were separated at birth. So
related through Abraham back some.
Wait a minute.
Oh, hold on. I had it muted.
Oh, my gosh.
Hold on.
What were we going to do? Crickets?
Yeah, I knew the other one, too, now. Because we got to go.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?
All right. You, sir. I'm sorry, but you can stay as long as you want to. But I think I got the rabbi coming in, so we can keep on talking. And there he is. How's that? Just like magic.
I will listen to the rabbi.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got some commercials coming up, but not right now, because in front of me right now is a wartime rabbi. Spends his time helping victims of war that made their children fatherless, and the women widows. Please welcome, all the way, I believe it's from Israel, Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. Where are you at, Rabbi?
I'm in my hometown. I'm just outside. I'm in Efrat, Israel.
Oh, cool. So you don't have to be inside right now.
Well, it is around 90-something degrees, but
okay.
I'm in the shade.
All right. Well, I've never called you shady before, ever, and I never will.
Okay.
So you got options in Gaza First, you've got the Israel takeover. Seems like you're headed to take over Gaza. Send Hamas to France, Jordan, Egypt, and all the other crazy Arabs, Hezbollah.
Yeah.
And my opinion of the Gaza experiment was DOA as their own country. That's gone. I hope, and also maybe even France. That's ridiculous. They're going to give them Paris. So what's going to happen there? Tell me what you know and what you can prophesize.
All right. Well, it was a very, I guess it was a big week in Israel when the government announced that they're going to take over all of Gaza. I mean, at the moment, before this week, I think we were controlling close to 75%, about 75% of it. And now, they announced that they're going to take over the whole thing because at the end of the day, nothing seems to be working to get our hostages out. Nothing seems to be moderating the enemy, and it's the only thing they seem to understand is that they're going to lose their land. Now, what that's going to look like, nobody knows exactly, but it's the next step. It's the next step that I think Israel has to make. It's not a very popular step, not even here in Israel, and certainly not abroad. But,
why isn't it popular in Israel? Why do they want these people there?
Well, it's not a popular. No. The idea of taking over Gaza is different than actually moving them out. Moving them out, that is a popular idea, but taking it out and taking it over and governing it, and having 1.5 million, 2 million Palestinians under our authority, meaning that we are now responsible for everything there, and that's not a popular idea here.
Well, better to be responsible for things there than letting go of your country because you can't handle what's coming out of there to attack you.
I mean, I'm not sure I understood what you said, but the idea of governing.
I'm saying that you can't, you couldn't control it when you gave them the country, and now you want to give it back to them.
No one's saying give it back. But the idea of governing when we are a country of 9 million people and absorbing 2 million people, that would be like the United States absorbing 60, 70 million people and having to feed them and having to do everything for them. Even the economy of the United States to say tomorrow, okay, you're now going to be responsible for another 60 million people, 20% of your population. I don't know the population of America. Maybe it's even more than that, 70 million. It's a staggering number, which would mean that once you ought to say that we are controlling it, then officially by law, then we have to provide everything for them. We're obligated to. So that's why it's not popular. The idea of continuing a fight militarily, this and that is popular. But the idea of saying we're now going to occupy and take over Gaza is different. What is interesting to me is that until now, the Israel haters, they've been saying we are occupiers of Gaza. So when we actually say, what are they going to call us now? Occupiers plus? It's like, it is kind of weird.
You have a country to protect. You're at war with them. It's a vicious.
Correct, but the idea of moving them out is very popular.
Who thinks about moving them? Who did in World War II, as Mark Levin points out, did we go and feed the people in Germany and Berlin?
No, but that's Dave. We
bombed the living hell out of them, and then we took over.
You're not making the right comparison. The United States never came into Germany and said, okay, we are now the ruling authority here. What they did was there was a war, and the war ended with Germany capitulating. Right. And on May 7th, the war, officially comes to an end with a capitulation. That's not what's happening here. What Israel is saying, what Netanyahu and the government is saying, hey, we are now going to do what the world has said we've been doing. We're actually going to occupy it, and we are now taking control, as opposed to saying we're at war with them. When we're at war with them, we're not responsible to feed them. We're not responsible to look after their population. When you occupy someone, the Geneva Convention is very different. And so that's why it was a big step. In other words, it's not that we're just saying, okay, we're going to continue fighting until we win.
You are damned if you do and damned if you don't.
So we unfortunately don't have good options in Israel. There is no good option here. No one has suggested one, not Trump, not Netanyahu. Nobody has suggested a good option. And that is part of the problem.
What would God say? What would God say about that?
Yeah. I mean, if we knew, then
what would God say about this predicament?
Yeah, I'm saying if we knew, then we'd have a good option. So,
talk to God every day, 3 times a day. God,
yeah, well, he hasn't told me what to do, but maybe
there was enough surprises and things that happened that were just amazing in the last couple of years, and suddenly we don't have any guidance from God.
Look, no, it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what here is the right thing to do. It's not clear. I know what I think.
What do you think?
I think what was said initially, this evacuation plan, I think is our best bet. But that has seemed to, even for Trump, that went on to the back burner. But when he came in initially into office and he made that remark, I think that was the right thing.
Evacuation. Elaborate on what that means.
What I mean is that the history of what's gone on there in Gaza there's never been a good solution. And so when Trump came in and he said, okay, we need to essentially start over. We need to allow those who want to leave, which will be probably 60, 70, 80% of the population. If they had an opportunity to leave, they would leave. And then we need to essentially start over instead of maintaining the population as is and letting them be governed even by an alternative to Hamas, by the UAE, by Egypt, by the United States, by whoever. Like, it's not going to work by keeping the same population there. I think the idea, but if there was voluntary emigration, 80%, 70% of them would leave.
You got 80% of the people that want to leave?
Yeah, for sure. They would leave for a better life.
Where would
they go? That's a good question. Look, the world absorbed 6 million Syrian refugees, and there's no reason they can't absorb. This is a relatively small number for the amount of countries, for example, that signed on that said they're going to recognize the Palestinian state. So you know what? There's 16 of those countries so far. So let them each. Let them each take 200,000 and game over.
It's almost game over in some of them right now. London and France and all these other places. Germany, even. They're getting overrun.
Yeah, they are, and
they want more of that. God, you better do it while it's hot, because they're going to be sorry.
We can send plenty more, but it's
do it quick. Whatever you're going to do.
It's like the only war in modern history where you don't have refugees, where you don't have people being able to leave.
The other countries? What about Lebanon these days? Are they a problem anymore, or is that over there? Oh. Well, hello.
We're trying very hard in Lebanon to prevent Hezbollah from reappearing, and we have done selective bombing still in Lebanon, and the Lebanese government so far is trying. It seems that they are trying also to prevent the Hezbollah from rearing its head. Look, if we can get a normal Lebanese government, something could happen. But what I did see in the news this week is that Azerbaijan, Trump approached them about joining the Abraham Accords.
Now,
And
where's Azerbaijan? That's in east of Turkey, right?
Yeah, exactly. And other nations he's urging to join. So, like, day by day, there's never a dull moment here.
Yeah.
So
what is Trump's concept? Trump's concept at one time was that he was going to partner with Israel and make this into a like Lebanon was at one time.
Right, exactly.
A place where people went to enjoy themselves with a lot of hotels, casinos, whatever. And
look,
where
that would be
go?
great. Look, when before what was called the disengagement, we had beautiful communities there, beautiful beaches, and and so some people here are see this as that all over again, as an opportunity to reestablish.
At least there's proof that a second country is not going to work. You're too small for it. Number one,
right? But there's no way.
Two, it's just a facade to kid you and the world that we're going to destroy you one way or another. Right. And now we know that.
Right.
Sure.
Look, they essentially they had their own state for the last 20 years, and look what happened.
What did they do? They didn't show one bit of inclination to get along with the Jews, and the Jews, on the other hand, did cooperate and did.
Yeah, it's a smokescreen.
Yeah, it's a smokescreen, and so you got to do something, and it can't be. You can't go back to the old days. That's for sure.
No, 100%, 100%. So,
all right. Well, let's see if I got any other things. How do you deal with all the bad media that's coming out of all these countries, Europe?
It's been very difficult, but I think we'd rather be on the side that we're on and let the world condemn us and so on.
I agree with that.
Then the world doesn't like it when we're on top of things. They
blew up a bunch of cars in St. Louis last night. St. Louis.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that.
And that was with signs about the IDF, go home, and this.
And the El Al offices were graffitied. They called it the Genocide Airline. I think that was in the UK. I think, but
and
we're here.
And story about the Gaza food. I think we've seen it, but
look, the UN admitted this week 94% of the trucks are being taken by Gaza. Like, what are we supposed to do? The food goes in and it gets taken by the terrorists, and they use it, they sell it. It's the only thing keeping them in power.
They got the food. Yeah,
that's it.
So that's brilliant. Yeah. So how is what is the attitude of Israel to the UN? Do they need him that bad?
It's always been incredibly, ambivalent to that. It's
why be there?
What's that?
I mean, really, is there any positive reason to be there?
I assume so, but look, it's a hotbed of anti-Israel activity. That it's totally anti-Israel, and if it weren't for a lot of the vetoes of the UN, of the US, sorry, it would be even worse. But
even then, under Biden, you didn't get all the vetoes, did you?
No, and Obama neither. But it was like Obama's parting shot when he left, and the UN did not veto resolutions. But look, we are Jews. We have a long view of history, and in a way, history keeps repeating itself. And we're just going to continue to do what we think is right, what's best for us. And if I'd rather be alive and condemned than the opposite.
Now,
the darling of the world, and what are we going to do? Just do everything that the international community thinks is right? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a great thing. The family doing good and all that.
Yeah, everyone's good.
Other than Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people find you and buy your book? Tell them what your book is.
And so go to the secretsofthehebrew Bible.org. They can pick up a copy there. It'll definitely enhance and deepen your understanding of the Hebrew Bible. You can go to our website, israelalliance.org. It's up on your screen there, or facebook.com/Israel Alliance. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Did you hear about the Hebrew who suddenly got religious?
No.
Yeah, he was rejuvenated.
Yeah. Actually, believe it or not, Dave, you just stumbled.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's actually been used many, many times.
And play it again. You're talking over Eddie Murphy. You never talk over
What
Eddie.
do you know from funny, you bastard?
Okay, now we got it.
That expression's been used by many Jewish organizations, actually, for different events.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I just thought of that myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
I know I thought of this.
Yeah. All right.
I'm calling myself Dave the Jew. That's J-O-U.
Deja Jew.
Dave the Jew.
Yeah.
A little French accent to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you know, when a Jewish guy meets someone he thinks he might have met before, that's called deja Jew.
Deja Jew. All right. Did you make that up? No.
Yeah.
You don't make it up.
Why? Because it's funny? You don't think I can be funny?
My stuff, too.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I give you a little more break than you give me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right, guys.
Family, Shabbat Shalom, my friend.
All the best.
Thanks for coming on a Thursday.
Thanks. You got it. All right. Bye, guys.
We're going to do some commercials. All right. Let's do some commercials right now. Hit it.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Honey, what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're filling up a swimming pool.
Yep, I'm filling up a swimming pool.
In our living room?
How else am I going to watch the game and stay cool?
If your AC is on the fritz, call Hartley's Climate Control. Hartley's is the area's best in HVAC repairs, installs, and maintenance. Knowledgeable, honest, and dependable. Serving Rolla and the surrounding areas for commercial or residential needs. Hartley's Climate Control. Community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about Koi Sushi and Hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy, but also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender, all one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrell's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
At your locally owned Price Chopper, our standards are high because we know yours are. See for yourself what an incredible fresh selection of grocery items we have in store. Talk to our expert meat associates about what you're looking for. They're happy to meet any special requests like custom cuts, or see our expert produce associates on how to pick out the best fruits and vegetables. Quality in the deli means fresh, full flavor, and always delicious. If you're craving fresh baked goodness, we have that too. You can expect the best selection and the best value while interacting with our friendly and knowledgeable employees. You can find what you're looking for fast and easily at the best prices at Price Chopper. Fresh savings every day. Acar Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have. Gotta reach 'em, see it right now. Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
Maybe it's for a kitchen you've always wanted. Maybe it's just to have a little extra room. Whatever the reason you're considering a new home loan, it's good to know that Town & Country Bank will guide you in the right direction. Our experienced local lenders are here to help you with a new home construction, remodeling projects, and fixed and adjustable rate home loans. You can even start the process online by clicking Online Mortgage Center at tcbanks.com. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Muslims are slaughtering Muslims, 250,000 of them. Why don't you report about that? Two-state solution won't fix any of that. The evidence is everywhere of what Hamas is doing in videos, in photographs, in-person accounts, and so forth. Hamas is controlling the food distribution in Gaza by stealing it, consuming it, and when it has enough left over, selling what it chooses, to whom it chooses, at usury prices unaffordable to most of the people there. They're feeding their fellow terrorists. They're selling it to buy more arms. They're enriching their leaders, several of whom are billionaires and multimillionaires. Why aren't you reporting this on the front page of the New York Times and the Washington Post and the BBC and the Independent and all the rest of the radical left-wing Western media? The Israelis and others have shipped into Gaza. They've attempted to ship into Gaza, has more than enough food to feed the 2 million people there. Why don't you ask, media? Why don't you ask? Where's it gone? Where is it going? Why is the UN sitting on thousands of pallets of food and water? Why are the thousands and thousands of 18-wheelers sent into Gaza over the course of this war being hijacked at gunpoint? Who's doing that? There's evidence everywhere. Everywhere. Yet the Western media chooses to either ignore it or lie about it. Britain didn't send tons of food, water, and medicine to the Germans during World War II. Why not? In fact, they, like us, correctly targeted population centers in order to try and bring the war to an end. Israel's not doing that. It's doing the opposite. Dresden was bombed off the face of the map. Virtually every human being living there was incinerated in 2 nights of bombing by the RAF, followed by the Army Air Corps. Perhaps as many as 250,000 people were killed in 2 nights. It wasn't a military installation. It had no military value. It was called the Florence of Germany. We bombed Tokyo repeatedly. We bombed Berlin repeatedly. Population centers. We didn't give a damn if the people were eating or drinking or medicated. We wanted that war over. There was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They were not of military significance. We needed to end that war too. Well, what about the modern day Nazis? The Islamists? No, apparently not. Because why? Let's be honest. Because it involves the Jews in Israel. That's why. These same quislings in the UK and France and these other Western countries, they wouldn't allow it to happen to their country. Oh, but you know what? Maybe they would. Maybe they would. No Churchill or Thatcher left in Europe, I can tell you that. But today, it's Israel that's fighting for its survival. And unlike Britain or Germany, Israel has done more to avoid civilian casualties than any country in modern history. That's according to John Spencer. Who is he? He's certainly the chair of urban warfare studies at the Modern War Institute, co-director of the Urban Warfare Project, considered the world's leading expert on urban warfare. Spencer also has pointed out that no other country in the world has fed the citizens of an enemy that is still in an active war. None.
Okay, we got a hot show so far, and we're back, and we're going to have a hotter show coming up. We got Chris Adamo, and following him, he's always great, by the way. He is a professional killer of rhinos. I mean, he's a rhino killer. And if he was in Africa, they'd run out of rhinos. Hopefully in America, we'll run out of rhinos because he's on it. He's on it. That's for sure. And after him, we got you can't get a better group of people than I get on this show. And that's Mark and Pat McCloskey. I don't think Pat's going to be there, but Mark is going to be there. And he's up to his neck in what's going on in D.C. He is actually the lawyer for the pardoned J6ers and the ones who weren't pardoned. And his partner in this is Peter Tickton, who is the best friend of who? Donald J. Trump. They were roommates at Wharton School of Business. So it doesn't get any better or connected than this. And he's a good friend, and he's the guy. He got his guns back. We're going to show you that. And in honor of him, I wore. This is pink, isn't it? I'm not terribly sure.
Technically pink, maybe kind of salmon color.
This is what he was. He was wearing something like this the day they went after him in 2020. So he finally got his guns back. Took him 3 or 4 years to get them back. What kind of crap is that? But he's always interesting. He's always fun. He's always funny. And besides which, I don't know. I have good rapport with lawyers for some reason. I've been to court enough myself. It's something I don't really want to do anymore, quite frankly, if I don't have to. So Hamas shows a video. I was going to talk to the rabbi about this, but Hamas shows a video of a hostage who I believe might have been in the IDF, and they're forcing him to dig his own grave right now. Dig his own grave. He's already lost half his body weight. They're starving him to death, and he's a hostage. And they're the ones that submitted the film of him digging his own grave. They are the ones that are doing this. Not anyone from Israel. They don't know where the hell he is. Otherwise, they'd get him. But they're doing this. Why? This is the kind of animalistic stuff, and shows you cannot deal with them. This is part of their structure, is to do things like this. It's part of them. Nobody's apologized for that. It's been out for a couple of days now. Where you say, "Oh, somebody did that," and that we disown this completely. Even so, what are you still doing with hostages? Why do you still have hostages? What are you doing? Why is that happening? That's outrageous. We had a ceasefire before you attacked with Israel, and you took hostages because I guess you thought you were going to make a lot of money. So you killed a good portion of them off, killed and raped, murdered of the hostages who were defenseless. And now you seem to have forgotten the date of October the 7th, 2023. Why have you forsaken that? Why have you forsaken that? Did you pick up my checks?
Huh?
You've been nosing about my realm here. This is like my area. That be your area, and you stole a bottle of my cheat sheet.
No,
stuff.
I bought this all by myself.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, she's got a knife. Call security. And she's pointing it at me. Stop it.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, this has become scary. All right, so if the Nazis, and I tried to express this earlier, I don't know if I said it the right way, but if the Nazis of World War II had decided to send people back to their ancestral homes like we're doing here with the illegal aliens, that if they had done that, the Nazis of World War II had decided to send people back to their ancestral homes that they didn't like or hated, then the Holocaust would not have happened. Imagine that. Those people would have been sent back to Israel, because that's where we're originally from. I can trace my blood back to Israel, even though my people were in Ukraine for a lot of years and probably passed through Germany because they got a Jewish name, but it was German, Weinbaum, which is, wine tree. Explains my drinking habits a little bit. Yeah, Jews drink. That's for sure. All right, so this is the thing that why was it necessary to do that to men, women, and children in World War II? Why was that necessary? Because the people that were pushing this were the Arabs. The main Arab that was the chief of the Muslim Brotherhood he had an apartment in Berlin, and he was a Jew hater along with Adolf Hitler. They coordinated efforts to kill Jews all over the world. And thank God the United States stepped in and beat them. And this stuff about war, look at the history of wars, and they're kvetching about the Jews of Israel like they're supposed to take care of this. This is their problem. It's not their problem. The problem should be upon the Arabs. The Arabs. I'm not calling them Palestinians. Palestine was what the Romans named Israel to insult them into thinking they weren't Israel. A Palestinian is an Arab living on that land. They didn't. You show me where there was a king of the Palestinians. Where was there a king? Where was there a Congress? Where was there a form of government? Where was the police force? They didn't have one. And then all of a sudden they're claiming that Israel is theirs. Really? It's even in the holy books of the Muslims. It's in the Quran. Israel is for the Jews. There's all sorts of places for Arabs. Saudi Arabia and other areas. But this one little matchbox in a group of vast countries that surround them and in Africa, suddenly they're supposed to bend over and surrender their country from the river to the sea. Well, not as long as I'm alive and not as long as most Jews are alive. We're not going to put up with that. Yeah, and I know you see Jews that disagree with us and stuff. Okay, well, let's call stupid what it is. It's stupid. It's self-denying. It is prostrating yourself in front of people who hate you. And so you're going to kiss their toes and whatever you're going to kiss, and they're still going to kill you. They're going to kill you, okay? That's what their motive is to kill you, destroy you. And it's not like they haven't destroyed a bunch of other Arabs along with whatever Jews they can come around. Why don't you play? Well, let's do something funny first. Let's do the Obama thing. If you got that.
Oh, I'll get it pulled up.
All right, get that pulled up, and then we'll do the. Let me just look at it. We got a whole bunch of lists of funny stuff. Let's do. How about tequila? We could do tequila after that. Cool. Not on me. No. Do you? Oh, she's eating. My wife is eating right now. You're eating. You're not supposed to. Well, what? You're eating? You're destroying my.
Just keep paddling.
I'm coming for you, Barry. Even Big Mike can't save you.
Michael, hurry up and paddle.
On your own, bitch.
How far are we from Kenya?
Just keep paddling.
I'm coming for you, Barry. Even Big Mike can't save you.
Michael, hurry up and paddle.
On your own, bitch.
All right.
That's some funny stuff.
We got something I got something coming up too, right?
Yeah, again, what was the next one? I have total mind blank just now.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You're getting old. You're getting tequila. That's why you've been drinking the tequila. So you forgot.
Yeah, totally forgot. I got so wrapped up in the.
My mind's working pretty good today. I don't know why.
Here we go.
Tequila can help ease you out of your shyness and let you tell the world that you're ready and willing to do just about anything. You'll notice the benefits of tequila almost immediately. And with a regimen of regular doses, you can overcome any obstacles that prevent you from living the life you want to live. Shyness and awkwardness will be a thing of the past, and you'll discover many talents you never knew you had. Stop hiding and start living with tequila. Tequila may not be right for everyone. Women who are pregnant or nursing should not use tequila. However, women who wouldn't mind nursing or becoming pregnant are encouraged to try it. Side effects may include dizziness, nausea, vomiting, incarceration, erotic lustfulness, loss of motor control, loss of clothing, loss of money, loss of virginity, delusions of grandeur, table dancing, headache, dehydration, dry mouth, and a desire to sing karaoke and play all-night rounds of strip poker, truth or dare, and naked twister. Warning, the consumption of alcohol may make you think you're whispering when you're not, is a major factor in dancing like a retard, may cause you to tell your friends over and over again that you're in love with them, also may cause you to think you can sing. Alcohol may lead you to believe that ex-lovers are really dying for you to telephone them at 4 in the morning. Alcohol may make you think you can logically converse with members of the opposite sex without spitting. It may create the illusion that you are tougher, smarter, faster, and better looking than most people. And it may lead you to think people are laughing with you. Alcohol may cause pregnancy. And it also may be a major factor in getting your ass kicked. So what are you waiting for? Stop hiding and start living with tequila.
Tequila! All right, tequila. Anybody out there drink tequila? I don't drink. I mean, I'll have one occasionally, but I drink a lot of Smirnoff. Is that what I'm drinking? Smirnoff?
I believe so.
Yes, and I have limes, so that part of it is healthy, isn't it?
Oh yes, the limes are good for you.
Yeah, limes are good for you.
Vitamin
So I
C.
figure I'm contradicting my bad habits with a little bit of a lime. I drink my coffee with honey and cinnamon and a little bit of heavy cream. And I think that does a lot. It keeps me regular anyways.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know if you want to hear that or not, but
really.
you got my phone there and Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Joe.
Oh, hi, Joe.
South Haven, Michigan this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do I know you, Joe Dalton?
Yes.
Oh, hey, you're in Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, good. And you discovered that. How did you figure out they were on Thursday instead of Friday?
I'll just keep up with you, man.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to miss the program.
Well, good. I'm so happy it got through to you. And I'm starting to see the numbers get up there a little bit more than it was earlier today. So what can I do for you?
Well, I wanted you to have the news, and nobody else really knows this yet. But
yeah.
The Walk for Life shirts this year are pink.
Pink, and I'm wearing pink.
Yeah,
look at that.
That's what inspired me to call you this morning.
The pink shirt. See, at least it got something going. There you go. Oh, it's been a good show so far. So, and when is that? That's September the 6th.
September the 6th. Go to supportmyprc.com to register or to sponsor our walkers and runners, and it's a great event.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to doing it.
Good.
My wife and I, and so what else is new? What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to share your program when it's done with my childhood friend Stevie Richmond.
Oh, cool.
He's one of my Jewish friends. I have a few, I guess.
So you brag about your Jewish friends? Hey, I got Jewish friends.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
So,
I have Christian friends too.
From age 3, we were forced to be best friends because we were neighbors, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Why did you hate each other or something? You were forced to be friends?
Yeah, his mom Andrea came down and said, "Hey, my son's 3 too. You guys need to be friends," and we obeyed. You know,
you will be friends. You will be friends with my child.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good relationship.
He lives here in Michigan. I haven't seen him in 15 years, and I got to see him Sunday. And he's extremely liberal. He's a liberal Jew, I guess you'd call it. But
why?
But
how could you
he was going on and on about how horrible it was that Israel was starving these people.
Are you kidding?
And I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah, make them listen to my show, especially with Mark Levin. I got Mark Levin clips about that very same subject.
I know. I saw that. So I want him to watch the segment with the rabbi, and then right after that is the Mark Levin.
And what to do with it? The rabbi's talk was very, very emotional for him and for me, because I want to understand this. I mean, he's living it, and he's got a kid in the IDF, for goodness sakes, who's been at war for going on 3 years. You know,
brave young man for sure.
Well, they're all brave there. They gotta be. They gotta if they want to continue to live there. They have to fight, and they have to fight and fight hard. They can't go patty cake with these guys. They're trying to kill them all, kill all the Jews. Yep. You know, from the river to the sea. So I don't know where your guy's coming from, but he certainly isn't getting much information.
Well, he admitted that he's not a religious Jew, which means it's a birthright thing, I guess. You know.
Well, I'm not a religious Jew either. If I was a Christian, though, I'd be concerned about being a Christian right now, because they're killing a ton of Christians. Where? In Muslim-run Africa.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, that was the next thing on my chart to talk about, was the fact that they're killing a lot of Christians in Africa, and I think Levin also goes into that. So
it's awful, man. But anyway, I wanted you to know I was listening even from here.
Thanks for calling. I appreciate you and your wife, lovely Jane, and I guess I'll see you on the 6th and have fun.
All right, man.
All right.
Love you guys.
Thanks for calling. Bye. Love you too. Bye-bye. Okay, that was Joe Dalton, head of the Pregnancy Resource Center here in Rolla, Missouri, where they're having the Walk for Life on September the 6th. Okay, I think we got time enough.
At Lions Club Park.
At Lions Club Park. Thank you for that. I need another commercial.
With pink shirts.
Pink shirts. I have a pink shirt, Jan, and And you'll see why when Mark McCloskey comes up after Chris Adamo. Okay, hit it.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
With warmer temperatures right around the corner and allergies ramping up, now's the time to get those AC units serviced. At Hartley's, we pride ourselves in offering outstanding service with fast response times. With proper maintenance, you can make those hot days be a lot cooler and remove those pesky allergens that always seem to find their way into your home. Call us today so you can be living a much cooler and healthier life. Hartley's, community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about Koi Sushi and Hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrell's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate. Busy schedule? Let your locally owned Price Chopper help you save time with online shopping. It's easy. Sign up to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Create an account and browse through the categories and choose the items you need. When you place your order, your personal shopper will get all of the items you've selected, taking the same care you would and following your notes. We offer free curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Start your online order today and no online shopping fee for a limited time. Go to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app to get started. Price Chopper. Fresher savings every day. Acar Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
At Town & Country Bank, we are committed to providing exceptional service to our customers. We do more than just provide loans for our community. we help make dreams become reality. Whether it's a new home, farm, business, or a new car, we would love the opportunity to help. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly lending team remind you how special hometown banking can be. Smart, friendly solutions. Town and Country Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Israel is surrounded by hundreds of millions of Arabs who've got more land than they know what to do with. They're surrounded, this tiny little democracy. And the funny thing is, they're the indigenous peoples of the area. They go back over 4,000 years. The archaeology proves it. They're the indigenous peoples there who are told to get out. Tell me, how many Christians are left in the Middle East? You know, Judaism was born right there in the Holy Land. Then Christianity was born right there in the Holy Land. 600-700 years later comes Islam. How many Christians are left in the Arab countries? Well, we have Coptic Christians in Egypt. They're under attack. They're being killed there as well. Tell me, how many Jews are left in any of the Arab countries? 2-state solution? Is this a joke? Israel's fighting Hamas. They're losing their sons and daughters. Hamas is still firing missiles into Israel. Hamas murdered scores of Israeli hostages, refuses to release the remaining 20 who are alive, who no doubt are starving, have been tortured, no doubt have been raped. Hamas has said repeatedly, nonetheless, we're going to keep attacking Israel. If we have another shot, we're going to take another shot. We're never going to give up. Yet Israel is told it is not doing enough to defeat the people in Gaza who, by the way, voted for Hamas. And every indication is that if an election were held today among the Palestinians, Hamas will win the election. The same Western media that since October 7th has used Hamas's casualty numbers as if they're fact, using the casualty numbers of a terrorist organization, despite the fact that these experts are saying there is no way that the Israelis are committing the acts that Hamas is saying. There's no way that so many children and women are dying according to Hamas. The media keep reporting it, and they report it without these experts and without these reports. AP, Reuters, New York Times, Washington Post, BBC, all the rest, flat out propagandists, liars. The casualty rate among women and children, these reports tell us, these experts, cannot possibly be accurate. You know what's amazing? Hamas itself, a few months ago, they said their numbers are not accurate to try and cover themselves for when people actually figure it out. But the media keep repeating their numbers anyway, as do the UN. Why? The answer is quite simple. And what about Egypt? Egypt, you say. What does Egypt have to do with anything? Good point. Not a word of criticism. Why Egypt? Egypt borders Gaza. Egypt has built a huge wall to prevent the Palestinians in Gaza from leaving. People left Syria. They went into places like Turkey and Jordan and so forth. Egypt will not allow Palestinians to leave. Obviously, Israel can't because they come into Israel, which is who they attacked. But Egypt, Arabs, Palestinians, Arabs, Muslims, no. The Egyptians refuse to allow the Palestinians into the Sinai Peninsula. They refuse to let them escape. Egypt is doing this out of internal politics, not for national security reasons. It doesn't want the Palestinians to flee into their country. Has anybody pressured Egypt? Has anybody heard anything about Egypt? No. Not a damn word.
Do you ever find yourself standing in one of the rooms in your house and you can't remember why you went in there? And 2 words float across your mind: Alzheimer's disease. You ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe you were singing? And you hope to God the other person really believes there's a song called What Does She Think I Am? Some kind of putz?
Tell me your sins, my son.
Well, I should mention that I'm Jewish.
Well, that's no sin.
Oh, good. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about Dr. Watley. I have a suspicion that he's converted to Judaism purely for the jokes.
And this offends you as a Jewish person?
No, it offends me as a comedian. And it'll interest you to know that he's also telling Catholic jokes.
Well...
I mean, and they're all jokes. I mean, the Pope and Raquel Welch in a lifeboat.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh.
All right, we got some funny stuff. We had a little mix-up with my next guest, and he's going to be on any second now, but he thought it was 10 o'clock, and I thought we put in 9:30, but you never know. Anyways, those things happen. I see it happen on Fox News and all the other stations all the time. Oh, we have technical difficulties. Well, this is not a technical difficulty because there he is, right there. It's a human made it, and it doesn't matter who.
Can you hear me?
And then it really matters. So.
Can you hear me?
Anyhow, his feathers are ruffled. I can tell you that much. And
you need to check your messages, Dave, because I just checked them and you said 10 o'clock.
Okay, well then I'm wrong.
So that's okay. I just want you to know I was here. I had to scramble to get on here because I was about to eat breakfast there, but I'm here.
I'm sorry. So, I'll buy you breakfast sometime. I'll buy you an egg McMuffin one of these days.
Okay,
right?
You owe me an egg McMuffin.
Oh, yeah,
I owe you a pizza.
Yeah.
You owe me an egg McMuffin.
I think you owe me a couple pizzas. This man is a Wyoming philosopher, using his love for Wyoming pizza as a charade as he pushed away Wyoming rhinos. There are no rhinos left in Wyoming. Is that true?
Yeah, that's a bit of an exaggeration. Let's just say I helped the Wyoming Freedom Caucus to really dominate the state legislature, the House. The Senate side, there's still a bunch there, but they're working on it. So,
but it's
the governor of Wyoming, Mark Gordon, a former Democrat, typical carpetbagger. They moved to Wyoming from out of state. They you got to declare yourself to be a Republican in Wyoming. So suddenly he declares himself to be a Republican, bunch of out of state money. He wins the election and governs like a Democrat.
So you couldn't stop him. When are you going to run for something?
Oh, I'm probably not going to run for anything. I'm going to sit in the sidelines and try and help other people get in there. And we're working on, of all places, the state of Illinois, Joe Severino, a great bulldog there. I'm going to get him in touch with you. I promise. Hasn't happened yet.
You know what? I think we're connected now on X. But
great.
He sent me a thing, and I said yes, sure. Yep. But he never did return my calls. So
well, I'll tell you what, he started reaching out to the people across Illinois outside of the Chicago area. The Chicago area is a blue sewer, right?
Yeah.
He starts reaching out to the people around the state, and it's amazing. You probably know this because you're a lot closer to Illinois than I am, but you get outside of Chicago and Illinois. Outside of the Chicago sewer, Illinois is red state America to the core. They are conservative as can be. And so all of the grassroots Republicans across Illinois are they just love the guy, and his campaign is just taking off. The rhino establishment, like they do everywhere, they're going to get by trying to be a light beer version of the Democrats. And they do that. And of course, they get nowhere with it. And so, yeah, he's rocking the boat there. So, we'll get you in touch with Joe Severino. And
that's where all the Texas guys are right now. The Democratic Party are there whining about gerrymandering.
Yeah,
and that's the most gerrymandered place in the world, Illinois.
Yeah, did you see the Stephen Colbert post about that? Where even Colbert had to admit that the Illinois, it's like you talk about the pot calling the kettle black, accusing anyone of gerrymandering.
I didn't see that, but I heard Gutfeld was on one of the shows last night. It wasn't, it was another comic up there. Anyways, I don't know. I didn't see it, so nobody's talking about it. So what? Meanwhile, two a bunch of cars were blown up in Clayton, Missouri. By the way, did you know about that?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear about that.
This was about the IDF. They were blowing up three cars of Jewish people in Clayton, Missouri.
Yeah, that is. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to need you to bring up the talking points today because somebody got me in here a half hour early. I didn't get a chance to scan the news.
Fine, so I'll talk.
Good. You give me the talking points.
I came prepared.
I was going to be prepared, but I'm always up to date. So.
I'm sorry if I did that.
No, it's okay. I'll take the Egg McMuffin. We'll call it even. But
okay.
The thing you're describing there.
2 pizzas.
2 pizzas. No pineapple though. We don't even want to talk about that. No pineapple.
I need pineapple on it.
See, that's almost sacrilegious. But anyway, let me get back to this because this is serious business. There is something going on, and I've seen it. Well, it's one of those things been going on forever, but it's on steroids in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
And what you've got is you've got it on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm sure TikTok and everywhere else. You've got a bunch of new, I call them troll bot accounts. They're fake accounts. There's a bunch of big money behind it. It's very organized. You get all of these accounts. A typical person on Twitter has several hundred or maybe several thousand followers. You get these accounts with 12 followers.
Yeah.
One after another. There's no picture. The bio is very ambiguous. And these things, they come out and they are just DNC talking points one after another. And again, it's in the last few weeks, it's gone in high gear. Now, I have a couple of theories about that. One of which has to do with the fact that you're seeing the unmasking of the Russia hoax. And the Democrats are going, we have got to throw everything we have into stopping this, because if they start getting the guilty parties, half the DNC is going to end up in alligator Alcatraz. Okay. And so they're literally throwing.
Who would want them?
Yeah, the alligators don't want
them. Somebody has to want them in order to even qualify for the alligator deal.
Even alligators have standards.
Even the alligators are going to spit them out, for goodness sakes. Ooh.
So, we'll have to talk about Trump, Putin, and Fauci at some point. I want to discuss that, but the whole thing that I'm seeing is that there is a huge, and I'm telling this to my fellow Americans who watch the Dave Weinbaum Show, there is a huge propaganda blitz coming from the left. And the goal is, and it goes back, if you look up here at my book here, it goes back to Alinsky. The goal is, if you speak the truth, we're going to ridicule you. And we're going to tell you, you're the only one saying that, and you're an idiot for saying it. And the goal is to dispirit us. And so you get these accounts trying to do this. You get online and you say something that's basic common sense, and you get screamed at by a whole cadre of lefties. Do not let it discourage you. It's fake. It's not real. You need to keep speaking the truth, because our greatest weapon against the left is the truth. And if you're speaking the truth, if Dave Weinbaum is speaking the truth, he's my hero. There's no amount of lies that can actually erase that. The only way they can erase the truth is if you get discouraged and you lose your courage to speak the truth and you quit talking.
You know, well said from a real hero, real patriot right there. And that's it's so important. I mean, you know, we all have minds, and you don't want to turn over your mind to something that you don't know about. So do a lot of research. Do it both ways. Listen to both sides, and you'll figure out that one side is not telling the truth and the other side is telling the truth.
Exactly.
And they're not pushing you to lie.
And there's no moral equivalency between the two.
That's right.
You telling the truth is not the same as them telling a lie, because they'll try and do that. Well, you have your truth and I have mine. No, we're either dealing in fact or not. Let's take Gaza, for example.
Yeah.
Okay. We saw that contrived nonsense about how the Israelis are starving millions of people in Gaza. If the amount of times that they've said that the Israelis have killed millions of people, Gaza would have had to have been the most populated place on earth, and it'd have to be nothing but bodies in the streets now. It was a lie.
Yeah.
We know who's been doing the murdering in Gaza and around Gaza, and it hasn't been Israel. It's been Hamas.
It's been Hamas has stolen the foods. They get 95% of it.
Yep.
And they give away some of it, and then they sell the rest at ridiculous costs.
Doesn't that sound like Democrat socialism?
I just had the rabbi on, told me this.
Yeah. But the point is that you speak the truth about what's going on over there. So the Democrats and the Islamists, who, by the way, are one and the same, and I always tell people they're the same. They have the same end game. They have the same strategy, and that's because they serve the same master. Okay. And so you speak the truth, and they counter it with a bunch of lies. And then they say, well, it's a he said, she said. No, Dave is speaking the truth, and they're lying. There's no moral equivalency there. It's not, well, everybody lies. No, they're lying. October 6th, 2023, Israel was not killing off the people of Gaza. Israel was trying to mind its own business and let everybody live in happiness. October 7th, Hamas started the massacre.
Yeah. And it was during a ceasefire. That's very important. There was a ceasefire involved. And one of many that in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
But, as I told the rabbi, says that crap has got to stop now, and finally turned it over to something it really is. And that is they want to kill every Jew from the river to the sea and anywhere else in the world they can find.
Else in the world, exactly. Yeah. And that does not go back when you, again, the leftist Islamist perspective is, well, that goes back to 1948 because Israel took over this land. No, it goes back to Ishmael. It goes back to the jealous son of Abraham who didn't get the blessing that Isaac got, and he's been jealous, and that spirit of jealousy has gone on for thousands of years, and that's exactly that's why
decided the Jews should like him, and he tried to get them to like him, and they wouldn't come over. So then he took revenge on them, and told the scriptures of Islam that you must find the Jew behind a tree and kill him.
Yeah, that's not exactly let's all make peace and get along, which is what they're
exactly, and that's what they're living. That's what a good portion of Islam is about.
Yep,
is killing and Christians, by the way.
Oh, no doubt, every bit as much. Look at the property. Look at the real estate aspect of the situation. Look at the size of Islamic Middle East, and then there's this little tiny shred of Israel.
Right,
this little tiny shred,
Amazing.
And what is it? What is it that has them so enraged in this fit of consuming excessive jealousy? That one little piece of land. Well, if we could have that one little piece of land, everybody'd live happily ever after. Look at all the land you guys got. Look what you do with it.
Look at the countries that are now have big populations or bigger and bigger populations, including the U.S., and look at the demonstrations of the praying in the middle of the streets so that everybody is affected.
Yep.
It's already happening in parts of the Midwest here in Minnesota. It's already happening in Germany. It's happening in England.
I've talked about
amazing.
One of the things, one of the scams, and they still to this day they pull it and they still get away with it because seriously, people haven't read this book. This is a scam that they pull. This is a trick they pull. Is we believe in live and let live. No, they don't. They live and let live means you have to shut up and let them come into the room. And then once they come into the room, then they can do whatever they want. And now they just wanted to be there to get along. They need their fair share. They need their rights. And now they come in the room and they're right there to trample and suppress your rights. And this is the way they operate. This is what they're doing in Minneapolis. This is what they've done all over the Middle East, like you said, everywhere else. It is not a live and let live thing. Leftists don't believe in live and let live. The Islamists don't. It's a matter of we'll say that to get you to allow us in the room. And then once we're in the room, we're going to shut you down.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you some questions here, since you've done a lot since you were unprepared. A lot of good conversation.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
You're a talker, man. Let me tell you, you're a talker, and you're big on. You're big on YouTube from this show.
On YouTube now.
Yeah. Oh, you're all over the place on YouTube.
Hey, all of you YouTubers, you want to learn how to fight the fight, get into the public arena and win it. I'm serious. That's the book you need to buy.
It kicked me off TikTok.
You're off of TikTok now?
Yeah, they kicked me off, and I don't know why.
Wow. And
my son's handling that, but
that proves my point about the whole live and let live thing.
Just anything about 1/6 or anything about the vaccines, apparently.
Yeah.
And you're gone, and it's all the truth.
Exactly.
I know exactly what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, Dave. If you speak the truth, I can tell a million lies, and that truth still stands.
Yeah.
If I'm speaking a lie and pronouncing it as a fact, the minute you come along and speak the truth, that lie has been neutralized. Leftists, and we're talking about also the Islamists, people who operate that way, they fear nothing more than the truth.
Yeah, but then they tend to go overboard and try to destroy you.
Oh, they don't tend to. That's the goal from the beginning.
Yeah. So you got to be vigilant. You can't just sit here and take it.
You do that, and the other thing you do is we'll go back to there's some scriptures that you read. It's like they're really almost esoteric. I don't understand. Then there's other ones that are very, very simple.
Yeah.
The very first verse in the book of Psalms is so direct and straightforward. It says, "Blessed is a man who walks not in the counsel of the unrighteous." If you've got an evil person there trying to give you their worldview and everything, you don't take their word for it. You don't listen to them.
Well, can you argue?
If you want to argue, the only reason to argue with those people is if others are watching and they need to see right versus wrong, because you're not going to argue that evil.
I want them to do that. I have a show. You want to call me and disagree without swearing at me, without swearing at my audience? Fine, I'll take you on.
Right.
I mean, I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
I do it in person. Go ahead.
So the funny thing is, Dave says this, and normally when we have people call in and like disagree, the first thing they do is try to start cursing and doing all this stuff, and we just cut it. We're like, no, no, actually have an intelligent conversation and debate. They can't do that.
They can't. Exactly right, JP. They can't.
That's an attempt to destroy.
Yeah, exactly. The whole reason that they resort to those things is because, like JP just said, they cannot actually debate you on the facts because they will lose. My rules are all about staying with the facts, staying on message, and avoiding the snares that they put out there, because their goal is not.
What the hell was that piece of paper?
That was my compilation of my rules for defeating radicals. That
I thought he was your show prep, and I'm saying, wow, this guy's not only.
This is what my show prep from a few weeks ago looked like. Okay, there's a difference. Okay,
okay, all right.
See where it says Dave at 9:30? That was a few weeks ago.
Just read your. You know what? I've got your show prep done, because basically it's about.
Can you read what time it says there? When I said Dave, Thursday at 10 a.m. So,
yeah. So what does that mean? You could have.
That means that I was going to be ready at 10 a.m.
You could have wrote the wrong time.
No, I got.
Did you look?
I've got the message right here.
All right, fine. Okay, fine. I make mistakes on occasion. I know you never do. Anyways, let me ask you a question about Bondi gathering grand juries and stuff. And it's been rumored that all the lawyers in D.C. are under retainer, many with each other. In fact, I'm going to ask the same question about that with my friend Mark McCloskey, who will be on at 10 o'clock. You see,
so he took my spot. I really like Mark, but you'll have to tell him that my feelings are hurt that he took my spot.
I don't care. You can stay on for it if you want.
No, I think I wouldn't mind saying hi to Mark. He's a great American hero.
Right,
I think you really need to let him. Huge brilliance and wisdom that he has. As far as what you're describing there,
yes.
What I mentioned a few minutes ago about this massive effort of all these bot accounts all over the place.
That's trying to prevent all that stuff from
it's
happening.
Exactly what that's about, because
how is that going to work?
Tell enough lies, and if they can get the cowards and the gullible to believe the lies, then those people have been neutralized.
Well,
if we stand on the truth,
there's always going to be that. But with the president we have now, and with the accomplishments that he's coming up with the concepts that he's coming up with we're going to take over DC. We're not going to tolerate all these attacks and these the guy with the big balls, being almost killed yesterday or 2 days ago. He says, we're going to take over. And you know who's cooperating with that? D.C. Mayor Bowser. She's cooperating with
Really?
him. Yeah. I was
She's
shocked to hear that.
She's cooperating with straightening things out?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
that
the
means one of
word
two
I've got.
things.
Huh?
That means one of two things, and we need to watch closely.
That's winning.
Either
That's called
some
winning.
of it, some of these people, these Democrats, they suddenly open their eyes and go, you know, they are making a mess of my country, and I've got kids, and I don't want them to grow up in that mess.
Hey.
Other ones are going, okay, maybe if I play nice, they won't notice that I've been in on the corruption too. Okay, so we got to be careful. We know which is which. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but also, you know, whatever gets them on your side, yeah, maybe you got to watch them a little bit.
Well, they're either really on your side or they're planning a different attempt to backstab.
Well,
you.
that was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They act like a friend and then they're trying to sabotage behind the scenes. We'll have to see about that too.
There's a lot of that, and absolutely right. That's the other thing. That's the reason when I wrote about the rhinos in my book, I said actually our biggest obstacle to defeating the left is not the Democrats, it's the rhinos, because they do that exact thing. They
If
come
we had
along.
all those rhinos in doing the right thing, we wouldn't have a problem like
we
have
would
now.
steamroller right over the left if it wasn't for the rhino duplicity. Absolutely.
Because we make sense. The left makes no sense.
Exactly what I was going to say. Back to your point that you made a few minutes ago. It's like, so they're stepping up the lies. They're stepping up the lies at this point.
Yeah.
Dave, what else do they have?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out.
There isn't anything.
They're going down the street with this Mondi guy or Manondi, whatever,
Mondami or something.
Yeah, Mondami. Yeah. And he's going to be the next mayor of New York. He hates Jews. He loves socialism. He's a communist. He loves Hamas. And he wants to own all the businesses. He wants to tax the rich. He wants to he attacks big companies. Where do you think the people are? What do you think the people in New York are going to do? They're going to be all moving.
Sadly, the way that this actually gains traction is this. That when you take away a person's sense of guideposts of right and wrong, you take all of that away, every precept of morality away from a person, which is what the left has been doing for years. They've been destroying that. They destroy the family. They destroy any sense of right and wrong. When you take that away from everybody, they have only one thing left to motivate them. And that's this obsession to be accepted by the mob, by the herd. Okay, I got to be accepted. So whatever the herd says, I'll do it, because the herd says that if I don't do that, I don't get accepted. And that's what you got going on in New York.
Because this guy was very anti-police, No more bail. We just let you out of jail. And so all of a sudden now they had a cop shot about a week ago by a couple of illegal aliens, and this guy is on the burner, so to speak, and now he's saying nice things to the cops. Like, well, you know.
Again, they'll tell any lie in the moment.
I didn't mean any of that stuff the way you think. They try to blame you for.
Yeah, it was taken out of context. Remember that one?
You're taken out of context. Yes, I agree with what you're saying right now. That it was all BS.
Remember the word taqiyya out of Islam? Remember that word? Taqiyya is it's a Islamic morality principle that says that you can tell any lie you have to advance Islam. Okay, now what kind of a God would tell you to lie to advance your? If your cause is worthwhile, what's the best thing you can do is tell the absolute truth about it.
I fail to see God in this. What I do see is a jealous Muhammad.
Yep, exactly.
Who was very, very pissed off at the Jews at the time that the Quran was going down.
And you see that same mindset ever since. Let me ask you this. Let's talk about Karl Marx. Who, by the way, Karl Marx was born Jewish, and then his father converted them all to Lutheran. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but Karl Marx was ultimately an atheist. What is the driving force of Marxism, communism. What's the driving force? It's envy.
Yeah.
It's you as the commoner that doesn't have what that rich guy has. You need to take it away from him. What do we call that? We call that theft.
Sure.
Okay. And you know, Dave Weinbaum here spent his whole life working who knows how many hours to make his business successful, and a lot of time that you devoted, a lot of energy, a lot of self-sacrifice, and your business is successful. We ignore that. We just look at the fact, you know what, you got more money than I do. I want it. And so according to Karl Marx,
and
you should give it to me.
Speaking about money, my next guest is on there. He's money. Okay. Apparently he thinks he's on at 10. And so I want you to say hello.
I get to say hello to a great American hero. Mark, so good to see you.
Nice seeing you again, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just
he had the propensity to claim that I gave you his spot.
I've got it on my phone here. I was supposed to be on at 10 a.m. I'm ready to eat breakfast at 9:30, and I get a phone call from Dave.
Now he's got a cold
Where
breakfast.
are you, Chris? You're just, you know how Dave is. He's
I was whining to him. You know, hey, where are you at, man?
I think Dave should give you some of his money because he's got way too much.
Oh shit! How do you know how much money I got? You
you're
over there talking about you.
I was at a McDonald's in Owensville over the weekend. Is that one of yours?
No, but I know the owner.
What's the mini Mac in the back thing?
I don't know.
There? It's got like an ice cream parlor or something. A little tiny wooden shed behind the regular drive-through.
I don't know. I think something's happening right now regarding bringing back all the characters.
Really?
So it's kind of cute and nostalgic, and it never should have taken place in the first place that they took all these people off. I mean, what's McDonald's? Ronald McDonald, for God's sakes. You know, come on.
Yeah.
God, I could have used some legal advice about that. Anyhow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris. We'll have to send the forensic people out to check your phone to see whether or not you're telling the truth.
I'm going to forward it to you, Mark, and we'll let you be the judge. Okay.
Yeah.
Forward the message that I got from Dave.
Look at this guy. He's nervous now because he's afraid I might be right.
I checked when I got his message.
I'll buy you a meal. This guy bought me a meal, and I couldn't believe it because I just looked away for a second, and I was going to buy it for him, and he already had his money out and had it done.
It's going to be in my tombstone. It's just the only thing it's going to say on my tombstone was he always picked up the tab.
Hey, Mark, do you like pizza?
I did before I became gluten-free.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. If you like a good Italian pizza, I got a place in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Mondello's Pizza, best pizza you'll ever have. Just if you change your mind about the gluten, there.
Says the Sicilian to the Irish.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got celiac disease, so it's not a matter of choice; it's a matter of necessity.
Oh, okay. Well, they also have a wonderful antipasto there if you ever decided that it doesn't have any dairy in it. So if you're ever in Cheyenne at the same time, I don't live there anymore, but if you're in Cheyenne at the same time as me, I will buy you an antipasto there, and Dave and I will split a pizza.
All right. Sounds good.
God bless you guys. Keep up the fight.
Yes,
You're doing great.
thank you. Hi to your lovely bride.
Okay. And I didn't have to hear a joke today.
That's right. Yeah. See, there's some benefit. But he has to suffer now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this do you have that picture of them? Yeah, we got a picture of you and your wife, and you know what? I'm wearing this shirt in honor of you because you're wearing a pink shirt.
There you go.
So this brave couple defended their home in St. Louis, not East St. Louis, but in St. Louis from BLM and Antifa, led by Quarry Bush, then congressman, 350 of them threatening to rape Pat, his wife, and murder them both. And they both stood up for what did you call that? Those two words?
Private property.
Private property. And look at that now. What, 3 years later, 4 years later? He finally,
five
years later, he finally gets his gun back.
1,847 days.
Yeah. And I bet you spent some legal money for that too, right?
Well, we did, and we spent a lot of our own time and resources. But as I've been saying, whether it's a toothpick or your home, if the government takes it wrongfully, you can't back down. You got to fight it till the end.
That no further words need be said about that situation. I would agree, John. And so we're gonna fight back on what they did to our house, honey. In the front of our house, we're gonna maybe we'll find a. You know any good lawyers?
No, I don't. There are no such thing as good lawyers.
So Jonathan Turley, half the lawyers in D.C. just went under retainer, and the other half are retaining them.
Yeah.
So is this a retribution from God to all your lawyers that are pissed off, or what?
Well, Trump's talking about nationalizing or federalizing D.C. Yeah. I think that's a heck of a good idea. But the entire D.C. Judicial system, in my humble opinion, is corrupt and biased. And for example, my J6 clients, they either had biased judges or biased juries. There was nothing like a fair trial up there. I know as a lawyer, I'm supposed to have nothing but praise for the judiciary, but there are some people up there that have really violated their oaths of office, in my humble opinion. But yeah, everything but the Supreme Court exists at the mercy of the legislature, right? And I think eliminating the D.C. Circuit would be a wonderful thing.
Okay, so let's follow that through. This is your solution to having Trump. If Trump told you, listen, I want to take over D.C. and I'm going to put you in charge, what are you going to do?
Take a huge pay cut and maybe do it. That'd be fun.
A pay cut? No. Yeah. He offered you a lot of money to do this.
Well, unfortunately, there you go. No, I think that amongst other things, I was very happy when Ed Martin was the acting U.S. attorney for D.C. I'm happy now that Judge Janine has got that job.
Yeah,
they're clean. Things will get cleaned up, and a lot of the prosecutors got demoted under Ed or fired. These people were engaged in a persecution, not a prosecution of everything happening in January from the 2020 election forward. And so, yeah, it's time to see some people go.
My next two words were Ed Martin. So is Ed Martin to join the FBI in bringing Texas Dems to punish and remove them from their seats for the gerrymandering deal?
Yeah, he's doing a great job up there. He gets in Office of Budget Management, and then he gets to be U.S. Attorney for D.C. Now he's the for lack of a better term, weaponization czar for the entire government. And every time he gets vetted, it's like how many Ed Martins are there out in the world? How come we're interviewing the same guy for all these different positions? Really? Yeah. They're like 10 Ed Martins out of Missouri that are all working in government, but no, it's just one guy, and he's doing a great job up there.
We have a couple of clips that I wanted to play that my producer just told me about.
I'm going to bring it up.
Yes, okay. Yeah, why don't we do it? Because I'll forget about it, and then he'll be pissed at me. I already got one client pissed at me. I don't need my wife is always pissed at me, so what the hell? Yeah. Oh. Right. This is you, by the way. But in terms of the Democrats, how are they going to make out after this? Isn't this going to kind of wreck them for the next 10 years?
Well, I would hope so. And you have to, and what we all have to remember is that Donald Trump is an anomaly. There's no one else that's got his force of will and strength of character to stand up to all this crap. But he's got 3.5 more years. Yeah. And then, so what we have to do during this next 3.5 years is make the world understand that what they did to us, what the Democrats did, this conspiracy against Trump, this conspiracy against the American people, that there has to be real consequences. People have to get arrested. People have to get prosecuted. People have to, if the facts prove that they did what we think they did and what I know they did, then they actually need to go to jail or worse. And only if that happens will we have some chance of being protected against this in the future. But if this goes away, of all other major political scandals where Congress holds hearings and issues strongly worded letters and nobody goes to jail, the American people will lose absolute faith, not just in the Democrat Party, but in our party as well.
So what do you think the Democrats are thinking right now? Your buddy Liz Cheney and Kissinger and Nancy Pelosi, Schiff. What do you think they're thinking about right now?
Moving to Venezuela, where we don't have extradition.
I think we give them a free ride for that.
I would. I'd buy the ticket myself.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Now, I go on AI a lot because I like it. It helps me with interviews and things like that. But then I ask these questions about 1-6ers, and they treat you like you're dirt, and they still do.
Yeah.
And I fight him back, and I says, "Look, I know this guy, And then they answer back and start saying better things about you. And then I say, no, you still got it wrong. And I keep going back and forth. And finally, they send me something that says, well, you know what? We don't agree with you, but we can see what you're thinking. I says, you don't know anything. I said, go back to Mars and quit this ridiculous. Well, that last clip was all me. I'm sorry about that, but I am. You did that when you were on your show. So, I took some extra talk there, but you get what I'm saying about AI. I mean, my gosh, I did this last night too, and they're still bitching at you. I mean, it's incredible. I said, don't you remember me from before? No, we don't remember you. We're doing stuff about it. Oh my God.
I always give my personal cell phone out when I'm on interview shows and things. And so I get a call yesterday afternoon from some guy and says, is this Mark McCloskey? And I said, yeah. Says, you're the asshole that was waving his gun around in front of peaceful protesters. I said, yeah, that's yeah, sure. He says, you're a reprehensible sack of what. And I said, well, thank you for letting me know that. I was unaware of that until right now. You should go rot in hell. I said, well, thank you very much. I'll make a note of that. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting that you would do that, and I do that. Everybody knows my phone number. My phone number is from the show. So I get calls like that sometimes, and I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
We occasionally get those calls, probably as you did when you were doing radio, that were nasty and stuff. Did you not?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and after the event 5 years ago, we had to actually turn off our phones, close down our websites. We were doing a pay-per-click campaign back in those days, right? And so everybody was flooding our internet with bogus calls, which were all costing me money. So we had to shut it down. We had to board up the office, shut down the phones, shut down the internet, and we're getting, every line at the office was lit up 24/7 until I just turned off the phone service.
So that means you're better than I am at being really tough. That's all I can say about that, because they knew you were a powerful guy. What am I? I'm a little putz in Rolla, Missouri, and so I don't get covered up with that stuff. I get attacked occasionally, not physically yet. It's come close. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But
I know you've got amazing powers that I don't have. You can supersize it, and I can't.
Yeah, well, those were the old days. Yeah, geez. Yeah, you're too funny. You're just too damn funny. So indictments, grand juries on famous Democrats. So when will we have some of them their collusion to prevent Trump from running a conspiracy to put him and his family in jail or worse via the 1-6 fraud? I mean, I'm a little concerned about the fact that nobody's talking about that. Why not?
I'm about J6. I'm a little concerned about that too. But that's the end of the rainbow. The beginning was a conspiracy that started back in 2015 over the 2016 election.
Yeah, and about Obama taking over.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and the president's come right out on TV and said that Obama was guilty of treason. Obama's issued a statement, because and the left is just, the mainstream media is selling all this as just an exaggeration or misrepresentation, or everybody's always known all this and there's nothing new about it, and the Russians were interfering, the Russians always interfere, and we did nothing more than recognize that the Russians always interfere, except at the time they were saying it's never been like this, and Donald Trump was a Putin pawn. I like that phrase, a Putin pawn. They had to have the alliteration there. But now they're saying, oh, no, we never said that. It was just, there's always been Russian interference. They count on people's memories being short. The thing that I hate the most about AI, and I've been saying this let me say it this way. Back when I was in college in 1978, I think, I saw my first PC computer. Actually, it was an Apple computer. One of my friends had an early Apple computer. And I said from that very first day, the problem with this is going to be that people's memories, the Encyclopedia Britannica won't exist anymore.
Right.
And the internet can tell you today what they want you to believe about yesterday, and you have no way of fact checking it, because kids these days aren't taught to memorize things. They aren't taught to read things. They're taught how to access information on the web. And that information, just like in 1984, the job of AI is to tell the current version of history and to teach you what they want you, or what it wants you to know and believe.
Yeah,
and
all politicized, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Doge's big balls, beaten bad. Trump threatens to federalize D.C. I know we covered this a little bit, but do you think that's going to happen? I kind of think it will.
I hope so. You get so much blowback from everything. You imagine what'll happen if he federalizes D.C. D.C., Detroit, and St. Louis are always up there vying for being the most dangerous places in the country.
Yeah.
First, second, and third all the time in the murders per capita. And when you've got the capital of the United States, and it's so dangerous that even politicians can't walk around without getting carjacked and beaten, it says something to the rest of the world about the decay that's happening in our society. And we were up there. I was meeting a reporter at the Four Seasons in D.C. recently, and there was a bum encampment at the entrance to the Four Seasons. I mean, just amazing.
A what?
A bum encampment. People, a homeless person living on the street in a makeshift tent right at the entrance to the Four Seasons. I mean, can you imagine that? You're probably.
I've seen it in DC. I've seen it like 20 years ago when I used to go up to DC.
Yeah.
30 years ago, it was happening then too. People are out in the street living.
Yeah.
Well,
let me say it this way. In the old days, we had things called loitering, right? People get arrested for loitering, no visible means of support, right? Now they're encouraged, and the government provides them with assets and with cell phones and with needles and drugs and all this fun stuff.
And with ballots.
Yeah, and ballots, right?
That's the important part of this.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on that. I'll tell you a fun story.
Yeah.
A friend of mine is actually he's a baron in Scotland, and he's a highly titled person in Europe, and he's actually the king of a small country in Africa. But right before the 2020 election, I was having a conversation with him, and I said, "You still have an American passport, don't you?" He said, "Oh yeah, I used to have houses in the United States." I said, "Who are you going to vote for?" He said, "I don't believe in democracy. I'm a royalist." He says, "I think the average human being can be trusted to vote for their dog catcher or their local mailman. But when it comes to things of real importance, I don't think the average person should have a say in that."
Is this the real heavy guy?
Yeah.
I know, yeah. Was that you telling me that?
Yeah, probably so. He's a really great guy. I mean, when the government in England was going to outlaw hereditary titles, he got a special exemption from Queen Elizabeth that he would give up his titles if his kids could keep theirs. So now his daughter outranks him, and he has to walk 3 steps behind.
Yeah, he's the one where they contribute things to him for their showing their love for him, and they're giving him stuff that they would miss if they if he took them, and he does take them, and these are important things to these people that he is the king over.
Yeah, they love him. He's a benevolent. In political science, when you're in first year in college, they talk about a benevolent dictator being the best form of government, right?
Yeah.
But you got to count on that benevolence, right? You can't predict that part of it. But no, the people in his country love him, and he's very gracious and supports them and out of his own pocket.
How big is this country?
How big's your broadcast studio?
It's about 10 by 14.
You know, in the words of Arthur, right? They recently had the whole thing carpeted. It's 45 cents in a taxi from one side to the other.
Wow. That's a small country. So
this is not a big place.
Why are rhinos who agree with Pelosi and Biden, FBI, DOJ, and other three-letter agencies allowed to do this by the Trump administration without any challenges? I mean, what are they doing in terms of getting your story out about what you're doing? You've got all the people, you've got the proof, you've got the evidence. So you just keep going on shows like this, and just I mean, there's got to be some outlet. Why do you ever call Fox? I mean, you used to be on Fox, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, you know, I don't know why there's like a conspiracy of silence amongst the only person that's really vocal on our side of this is Greg Kelly at Newsmax, and he's focused on it. You know, I've
listened to him since you've told me that. Me that. And
now that Rupert Murdoch has passed the reins to his son at Fox, I don't think they're the bulwark of liberty that they were back in the Tucker Carlson days.
They seem to be, but this is a forbidden subject for some reason.
Yeah. I think half the Republicans in Congress just wish the J6ers would go away and die.
That's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Are these a lot of Republicans, or is it just a few rhinos, or what?
I think it's a lot of Republicans. You know,
why do they think that?
Because they're afraid to not. They're afraid to say anything because my belief is that they're concerned that. Well, let me back up and do it this way. In my case, there's a 32-second clip that every network in the country and in the world played when the BLM attacked my house. And it was the last 32 seconds out of the 17.5-minute event after almost everybody had already left, so that they could give this impression that it was a small and relatively benign crowd. So I suspect that what all the Republicans in Congress that are being deaf, dumb, and blind about January 6th, their concern is that when they run for re-election, if they're in a close battle, there's going to be this clip from the west side of the Capitol building at about 2:20 in the afternoon when people are climbing up the side of the wall right after the cops launch the assault on them, and they're afraid that will shift the balance against them, and so they want to keep their heads down. They don't want to take a strong position. They don't want to be painted with the taint of insurrection, because they know that the mainstream media in their states will paint it that way.
This is incredible. This is just a reason to go out and do bad stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a reason. It's so comparable to what happened the last 10 years. If you really want to screw with AI, you go down that road and talk about, what a fraud the 9 Sixers went through, and the 1 Sixers, I should say, went through, versus the 10 years of rioting and all over the other parts of the country, where there were people killed and businesses burned down and federal buildings attacked and burned. And suddenly I say, I want to see the comparison.
Yeah.
Well, and that screwed them all up.
And
we're talking billions of dollars in these other countries, these other states where this was happening, and the fact that the cops weren't doing anything about it. And here, this was a This was an event that you could find out by. It's almost equivalent to being dancers in a chorus line for a theater. Everybody did what they were supposed to do, and were there to do it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you think back about, the summer of love, billions of dollars in property damage, dozens and dozens of people injured or killed, policemen killed. I mean, in St. Louis, on the night of June the 1st and June the 2nd of 2020, 4 cops were shot. Retired police officer, Police Captain David Dorn, was murdered. All over the country, this is happening. Out of the 350 to 500 people that broke down our gate, stormed into our neighborhood, and threatened me and my wife and our dog and our home, not a single one of those spent a day in jail. On the other hand, January 6th defendants who did no more than walk through doors being held open for them by Capitol policemen, fist-bumping cops, singing the national anthem, and walking back out, were charged with no more than trespass, had their houses kicked in, guys with machine guns pointing at their family and their kids, their houses searched and ransacked, and then go to federal prison for trespass. There is no comparison to the violence. There's no comparison. And yet, the mainstream media will still always preface January 6th by saying 5 Capitol policemen were murdered that day, right? Not a single one, not a single one. And yet the facts have nothing to do with it, which is, once again, why I'm concerned about AI, because I guarantee you that AI talks about the death of Capitol policemen on January 6th.
You have no proof. You see, they're saying you have no proof.
Yeah,
is what they're saying. There's no proof of this. No proof. I says I have proof.
We
I know the guy. I talked to the guy. Well, we know you're passionate about this, then, and then they try to talk me down a little bit. And I said, you're full of it. Go back to Mars.
Well, here, and then you think about the 2020 election fraud, right? And every news media reports there are X number of courts found there was no evidence, absolutely no evidence, no evidence, no evidence.
How does Bill Barr say that?
Yeah,
the Attorney General at the time, and it's December, and they just got done voting in November, and nobody knows. And you don't have enough evidence for crimes. Then he said there's no crimes.
Yeah. If you've already reached the verdict before you discover the evidence, then the outcome is pretty certain. But obviously, when they start saying that this was the most secure election in the history of the world, I mean, whenever they use superlatives like that, you just know they're lying. But I mean, 4,000 sworn affidavits testifying to election fraud and election irregularities. We win lots of lawsuits based on affidavits. That's evidence. Sworn testimony is evidence. And when anybody says there is no evidence, that could be nothing further from the truth. But once again, the mainstream media, and for that matter, most of the people in Congress, don't care a whit about the truth. They care a great deal about getting reelected and keeping their contributors flowing.
Well, that's true. I've got my next guest here. Her name is Karen Harris. I got it right. And by the way, I'm talking with Mark McCloskey, who normally has his wife with him and doesn't have, as he says to me, I have to make a living somehow.
Yeah.
So he's got his wife out there working as a
lawyer. Cracking the whip, right? Making sure that
whip. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. That's what I do with my lovely wife here. Hey, stop it. See that? You got to watch it in this studio here. No. You're too much. Do the other one. No, get on.
I just want to congratulate Mark real quick on the retrieval of his weapons. Finally.
Yeah.
After how many years?
5 years, 1,847 days.
That's wild. But I was excited. I actually hadn't realized that you hadn't received them back yet. So congratulations on finally getting them back.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
you know how much in the city of St.
Why don't you turn that around so she can see that, honey?
Well,
you
got to grab it and turn it if you want to try to use it.
Okay.
Sometimes it goes out.
Yeah, this way.
Oh, right.
Honey.
Well, I can't see behind it.
I know. That's why you might want to stand up. Anyways, it's a mess. Everything is a mess. They spilled all the vodka now. I can't have a drink after this. This is not good, ladies.
But they've spilled your vodka?
And speaking of vodka, this guy can put them away. Let me tell you about that.
I did bring you a gift.
Oh, a gift. Uh-oh.
And I left it in a fancy gift bag for you too.
Oh, gee, look at this. Wow,
Yeah.
she brought me a gift. How about that?
And well wrapped too. I like it.
Yeah, well wrapped.
And
Can I show this to people?
Absolutely. I hope you do.
I can't show them. Ivermectin paste.
Hey.
I have a new sponsor, folks. Ivermectin. I take it by the pip.
That's the same brand I give my wife.
Ivermectin, the pandemic, it shall chill. Ivermectin. I let it take its course. Ivermectin. Now I'm neighing like a horse. There, how's that?
And your mane has never looked better, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you. My mane is really good, right?
It's
fantastic.
fantastic.
There you go. All right. All right, my friend. Say hi to your wife. And other than the Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people hire you?
Well, my website is McCloskeylaw.com, McCloskeylaw.com. My antiquated email is McCloskeylaw@AOL.com. And I'm on Facebook at McCloskey USA. And you can still catch my old broadcasts on Rumble at Mark McCloskey on Fire. As soon as I get J6 wrapped up, I'm going to go back to broadcasting. But right now, I don't have any spare time.
I understand. Did you hear about the vegan strip bar? What are you doing?
I'm getting ready for the
Oh, well, jeez.
How do you know there's going to be
Well,
one?
I don't know. He heard that. He's disappeared. Oh, my God.
The vegan
did you hear or not? Did you hear about the vegan strip bar?
No.
The bananas strip themselves. No?
No.
Okay, hit it.
No.
Hit the other one. No, not that one, you jerk.
Well, she said,
what do you know from funny, you bastard?
There you go. Now you got it. Thank you so much. Hi to Pat. We want her on next time. For
Absolutely. I'll twist her arm.
My jokes.
You take care, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, we have today a nice lady who wrote to me, and I didn't quite remember, but my wife knows you.
Yes.
Her name is Karen Davis. Could you describe what you do?
I do a
please?
little bit of everything. My name is Karen Harris, and I'm a Missouri State GOP committee woman, and I'm also the vice chair of the Phelps County Republican Central Committee, and I'm also the second vice president for the Republican Women of Phelps County as well.
All right. So you're a busy person.
I'm a busy person, yes.
Now, you don't hold a political office, though.
I do not, no.
Did you ever?
I served briefly as an alderwoman in my town of Doolittle. I live in Doolittle.
Oh, Doolittle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So do you know Don Mayhew?
Oh, yeah. I actually just talked to Don this morning. He was getting on a flight coming home.
From where? D.C.?
I think they're out in Boston.
Oh, I thought he was gerrymandering or something. I don't know. That seems to be the popular vacation this year.
Yeah, everyone's gerrymandering.
Why aren't we gerrymandering, honey? I don't understand. So you are municipal elections expert. Is that right?
I wouldn't call myself an expert, but
I called you an expert.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I hope I don't disappoint, but it is something that
What does that mean?
Well, I'm very passionate about our municipal elections.
Okay.
And I became so during COVID and in response to COVID.
Yeah.
I would say in our disastrous response to COVID. Really a lot
What do you consider to be the what you said, that disastrous approach to COVID?
Really just the massive overreaction, the shutting down of businesses, the masking requirements, telling private businesses how to conduct their business and how to operate, our school systems kicking our kids out, denying them of the education that we as taxpayers pay for, masking kindergartners. The list goes on. You remember? You were there.
I remember. I'm just forming my next question. Is, do you believe you were right back then?
Yes.
Yes, and I believe I was right back then too, because I was feeling the same thing.
Yes.
Looking at the VAERS reports, having the disease with my wife, and calling my doctor, just breaking 70, 71 or so, right? And saying, we had my doctor of 25 years. I says, we just had it. We have it right now. Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, come in and take the vaccine, get a shot. I said, why would I do that? He says, because you need to. You've got it. I said, well, if I've got it, aren't I going to have antibodies? He said, well, I don't know anything about that. And I said, well, I just looked at the VAERS report, and that thing is exploding.
Yes.
It's and he says, well, that doesn't mean anything. I read the New England Journal of Medicine every time it comes out, and that's not in there. So I did a search of the VAERS report in the New England Journal of Medicine, and guess what was there? The VAERS report. So I called him back, and I said, "Did you find the VAERS report?" He says, "Yeah, I guess you're right." I said, "I got some words for you. You're fired." That's 25 years. I haven't talked to the guy since. All right. Well, what are these doctors thinking about? And it's still going on. It's still going on.
It is still going on. I'm hoping some of the actions taken at the federal level will help to mitigate some of that damage. I know RFK Jr. just stopped the federal funding for the vaccines.
For kids a certain age.
It's vaccine research.
The vaccine,
research.
He stopped the funding for the vaccines in general, but he took away the requirement for children.
Yeah.
For sure. It was, on the list of recommended vaccines for children. And he took that off, thankfully. So I'm hoping that with this administration, we're going to return to some common sense. And, it was funny when COVID kicked off, we were in Mexico, actually. The day before we left for Mexico, Trump had just instituted a travel ban for Europe.
Yeah.
And then right when we got back from Mexico, he instituted a travel ban between
China and USA, didn't he?
Well, that was from the very beginning.
Okay.
This was a little bit post that. So between Canada and Mexico. So we actually, had vacation with people that got stuck in Mexico because of that, had a hard time getting back home. We made it back home. I went to work. They handed me my laptop and said, "You're working from home." I live in a rural area. So I was a little panicked initially that first week. My husband, he's out and about. He's like, "No, nothing is shut down." He's like, "You're fine. Just."
Were you wearing masks?
No, I never wore a mask. I knew that was ridiculous.
I got forced into it a couple of times.
There were a couple of times I was forced. Yes.
Other than that, I didn't.
Yes, but if I could avoid it in any way possible, I absolutely did, because they're ineffective. They cause more problems than they prevent, for sure.
Sure, and they don't do anything.
Well, he made me get out of the house because I'd been sitting at home, working from home, reading the news, which was the absolute worst thing I could possibly do. We get to Kings Highway, and the first restaurant we see is McDonald's, and the cars are wrapped around the building.
Yeah.
And I thought, what? And I knew in that moment I had been tricked. No one was really overly concerned with this virus. We weren't being affected in the way that the media was trying to make us believe that we were. We go by Walmart. The parking lot looks like Black Friday.
Yeah.
And I knew at that, to me, the illusion was shattered in that moment. So thank you, Dave, for that. I appreciate that.
Well, I think for a while there, we were closed on the inside.
You were. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Wrap around.
Yeah.
Lobbies were closed.
So I was working my butt off in the drive-thru outside.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But they controlled it. In fact, at one point, they went out and said that if you're not married, if a customer comes in not wearing a mask, you tell them to put a mask on, or we're going to have them arrested. This was McDonald's saying that to me. I said, "Are you out of your minds?" And the next day, I get a call from a customer down by St. Robert. He says, "What the hell's going on here?" I says, "Don't worry, it was a mistake." And I was speaking for the head of the company.
So
and he said it. I heard it.
Corporate McDonald's was making you enforce that.
Exactly.
That's threatening too.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'd be up in meetings saying, this is a very, very ridiculous order you're considering, because now we're talking about crew, we're talking about customers, and we're talking about liability, because if it's not true, then we're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And as an owner operator, are you going to stand by us? Well, they don't like me very much anymore, so that's life.
I don't think they ever did.
No, well,
Anyway.
Before I started saying what I thought.
So can you imagine having to call law enforcement to report someone for not wearing a mask?
No.
Could you imagine doing that though? What
No,
a waste of our resources.
I would not. I wouldn't do it. I disobey.
I
would disobey it.
Yes. There's a time for civil disobedience.
That's illegal.
That was one.
That is illegal.
Right.
All right. You don't have a. First of all, they were wrong about the vaccines. All right. Why? And I asked AI last night. So if everything is so great with these vaccines, why did we have to? I forget what. All right. Anyways, why did we have to get all these? Why did Pfizer get to kill 75,000 pages worth of the finding out about the vaccines?
Mm-hmm.
That should be right. And it was other stuff. Other agencies got involved. I says, you guys are full of, you know what? Mm-hmm. This is AI I'm talking to. And they went through some stuff on it, and they said. Then I asked him about Tom. Did you ever hear of a guy named Thomas Haviland?
No.
He's been on the show. He was on Died Suddenly, and he's the guy that went around. They prevented him from being a contractor in the Army if he didn't take the vaccine, and he refused. Mm-hmm. So he went out and he started doing stuff with the embalmers. Nobody was talking to an embalmer. Why would you want to talk to an embalmer? Well, he started several times. He's done this now 4 times. And he goes to these embalmers and says, "Did you find anything unusual happening with people that have died recently of heart attack or anything else?" They said, "Yeah. They have these white, fibrous blood clots, and some of them are really big." Mm-hmm. And I said, "So and they were diagnosed with heart disease?" I says, "Do you have any way of finding out whether they took the shots?" And apparently, almost all of them took the shots. So this may not be total proof of this, but it is an indication that this has probably something to do with them being blamed for the heart attacks and things like that in young people, mm-hmm. having babies die in the womb, basically. And so the AI kept on getting, "Well, I know you're passionate about blah, blah." I says, "I don't want to hear that." I says, "Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong." "Well, we just don't have enough information." And I says, "Well, you give me the information about people on TV, doctors like Dr. Siegel saying you can have, you ought to be taking your boosters now and this other, because if it's not working." When in fact, he said, once you take it, you don't have to take it again, like Fauci mm-hmm. said. So I didn't get a good answer from AI.
Well, I got banned from AI.
How do you get banned from AI?
I can tell you how, because I did it. When ChatGPT was first launched, I created an account.
Yeah.
And the first question I asked is the COVID vaccine safe and effective? And
wow.
I got kicked off.
How
I
long ago was this?
Community. This was probably about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So I had to go in and create whatever I said was against community standards. I got
for that one question.
Yeah, the one question. So I got kicked off. I had to create a whole new account, and no, it's.
Are you on there now?
I am. Yeah, I don't use it very often. I use Grok more if I'm using AI.
Grok is where I'm doing my stuff.
Yeah, but I do have a Chat GPT account too. Yes.
Yeah, but that's scary in a sense of AI, and I'm heavily invested in it. Yeah. That they are so political.
It has a lot of bias in it. That's what
It is, and I keep telling them that. I says this is not like Mark McCloskey, who I was just on. Because he's representing the 1/6ers and both the convicted ones and some of the ones that were thrown in jail for no reason, and others that were pardoned. And you put that in there, and they got all only nasty things to say about them.
Yeah, and the problem with AI is that people really treat it like gospel, and it's not. It's technology, and technology always fails. Most technology is designed to fail, so you have to repurchase it. AI is no different. It's technology. It's going to fail. It's going to fail, and so you just have to take everything that you receive from it, with a pretty large grain of salt. Now, I've gotten some really good information from it, but always do your due diligence.
I like to argue, and so I like to set them up I like to set them up. I like it when they send me this stuff. Yes, there's no evidence of this and that, and then I present them the evidence.
Well, that's good, because maybe you're affecting what AI.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yes, we'll give in the future.
I'm trying to get the reasoning from them, and when for example, they were talking about the 1/6ers. And how horrible that was, and how horrible the people were that on our side were doing this to our government, and blah blah. And finally it says, it says, can you give me the information about the last 10 years of assaults on different cities and riots that weren't 1/6? And how much they cost, and how many people were actually punished and sent to jail? How many of them got out on bail? How many of them got out on free? Of all these businesses going out, and all these federal buildings being attacked, just like 1/6. And they didn't really have an answer.
No,
I beat them. I says, and they tried to stay in the battle. I says, give up. You're done. You don't know what you're talking about, because I do. And so you can beat. I'd love to beat AI. I don't think I consider myself that smart.
Right.
So what the hell?
Right.
It's like a hobby now.
So going back to what you were saying with the rioting, so we had the COVID mandates.
Yeah.
Then we had the rioting.
Right.
All of that had to do with the municipal government that was in place.
Yeah.
Our city council instituted a mask mandate. Our city council shut down businesses, and we're in a conservative area.
Yeah.
But our council was not conservative.
Still in it.
It's still not. We had abdicated our responsibility as conservatives to get out and vote in those April elections to make sure that our council members were conservative. We did flip those seats in 21.
You did.
Which was encouraging.
Yeah.
But now we got complacent again, and it's about 50-50 now. We have a very small majority, but they're working very diligently to flip it back.
Who is the mayor now?
Lou Maggots is the
Maggots. Is there somebody moving in on him?
Yeah, there'll be an election next year.
His term is up.
Yeah.
Is this Gravin or the tall guy? Kevin.
Yeah, I've heard several names mentioned, but I don't think that anyone has formally committed. He's the mayor pro tem currently. Yeah, but I haven't heard any names formally mentioned.
So what are your grades so far for Donald Trump and what he's doing with the tariffs and all the other things, trying to take over DC, maybe?
Well, according to Joe Biden, I'm ultra MAGA. So
Yeah.
I give him an A+.
Well, okay.
The tariffs are working, right?
So you're ultra yeah, apparently they're working like great.
Mm-hmm.
He's got suggestions for Israel. He's got the Abraham Accords. He's got a lot of Arab countries suddenly backing him,
Right.
versus Hamas even.
Right. So we had BRICS that was, posing a threat to our economy, but I think he's overcome that. So it's I'm going to forget the name, but they were forming their own coalition.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay, I don't recognize that because they've all given that up, I think.
Yeah, for the most part.
And even India is India's probably in a panic by now because they haven't done anything and they're about to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's won that battle for the most part.
I think he has won that battle.
And won it, and it's fair, and it's fair to America, and never has been. Let's see him take over Canada and maybe buy Greenland.
Yeah, maybe.
I wouldn't object, would you?
Absolutely not. Yeah. But you know who I give a F to?
Okay, who?
Us.
Yeah, okay.
Going back to the municipal elections.
Go ahead.
Again, it's just we have such a low voter turnout. And so, you're seeing the left is trying to infiltrate our rural communities. 70% of Phelps County voted for Trump. So what does that tell you? Do you think that we're liberal or conservative overall? You would say conservative.
Right.
But the liberals will host these town halls. They had this No Kings protest where they brought a bunch of people in from out of town to make it look like, that they're gaining on us. Well, they're not even at 50%. So I give us an F for not doing our part to show up in April, or to petition our legislators to move our municipal elections to November.
Okay. Yeah.
Where there's generally a more conservative turnout for that election, or just a better turnout in general.
Sure. I would agree with that.
Yes.
That's an idea.
And our school board too. Let's not forget about our school board as well.
Well, yeah. No, so you're in the nuts and bolts of local elections and local municipal people that are supposed to be doing a job that the federal government may or may not approve of, and people in these areas are truly a little bit angst to go and vote for some reason, and I don't get it because it's so important.
It is so important, and I think part of the reason is that it's hard to campaign against or vote against the person you're going to bump into at Walmart. I love Donald Trump. I voted for him 3 times so far. I've not ever encountered him. I'm probably not likely to, unless he wants me to. I mean, I'll go up tomorrow if I get the call. But school board members, I'm going to bump into them at Walmart. I'm going to bump into them at McDonald's. To ignore it, than to address it, because it becomes doesn't have to, but it can become a little confrontational at times.
Well, Mayhew and Hardwick.
Yes.
We took a vacation, so to speak, in St. Louis, and she won't call it a vacation, but I thought it was kind of cool. Anyways, and so they had threatened to take over the show, so I says, "Fine, let's do it on the 4th of July."
Mm-hmm.
And they're against each other. They're running against each other for Senate.
Yes.
And they ran the show along with JP over here. And we were absent. I tried to call in the show. I couldn't figure it out. I tried to send a message.
I'll tell you, that was the same day as the Freedom Parade, and Tara Peters and Benny Cook, 2 of our excellent representatives, were in that. Mm-hmm. We all met for lunch at the Tater Patch after they did that show. They met us there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So they're good guys, even though they're running against each other.
They're both a lot of fun.
They're both a lot of fun. Good, a lot of integrity, good spirited. So yeah. It was fun. Yeah, they were bragging about being on your show. I forgot it was a Friday. To me, it felt like a Saturday. I'm like, what are you doing on Weinbaum Show? But they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was wondering how that would work out if they would get into a squabble or anything like that. They got along fine.
No, they're good guys.
Yeah, he says he kept them from killing each other.
Did you? Yeah, crack that whip. Put a chair in between them.
He cracked the whip. He's always taking that phrase. I'll tell you that.
So.
Yeah,
I'll wrap up my spiel on municipal elections because I know you have some other topics you want to talk about. But the Republican committee, the Republican Central Committee here in Rolla, which covers all of Phelps County, we have a subcommittee called the Republican Initiatives and Action Meeting, and that's open to the community. And that's at 5:30 the first Thursday of every month at the Eugene Northern Community Center. It's right before our Central Committee meeting, so anyone is welcome to attend. And then if they chose to stay for the Central Committee meeting, they could do so for sure. Right now, we're working on our annual picnic at Lions Club Park. That's going to be September the 4th at 5 p.m. And we have it every year. And we're trying to bring back the fun. You know, a lot of the things that we discuss, it's heavy and, you know, it can get contentious. Sure. We want to bring some fun. We want to remind people that no, we're fun and we're family friendly in a real way.
And what do you mean by that?
There's not going to be any drag queens.
That's
there.
What I'm thinking. Yeah.
But we will have some musicians. We've got some activities for the kids. So bring your kids out. Meet your local electeds. So if you want to know more about municipal elections, I will be there. Some of our municipal candidates and electeds will be there. Our local county electeds will be there. Our state electeds will be there. So we're bringing in some community involvement for what's considered mostly conservative causes. Missouri Right to Life will be there. We have another pro-life organization that'll be there. CASA, who the Republican Women Support, will be there. So just find out what's going on in the community that you as a conservative can support.
What about voting early? Should we all be voting early? Because I talked a lot about that on the show. Get your butts out there and vote early before they get a chance to run us off and disappoint a bunch of people saying, oh, well, they're already so far ahead.
Right.
You know, no, don't let that happen to us anymore. We got to vote when we can. As soon as they open that door, you be the first one in there or the second, but get there and vote right now. And we did. I talked a lot about that. JJ Bradshaw, he's a guest on the show, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm voting early," and he did. And I don't know. I think that might have had some effect. I would stress that the moment you get a chance to vote, you do it right now.
It's so easy.
Wouldn't you agree with that, dear?
Yeah, that was a big thing for the national election.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I voted early for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was so easy. Conservatives really resisted. Republicans resisted that for a long time. I think it's we feel it's our patriotic duty to get up on election day, stand in that line, cast your ballot. And I still agree with that. I still think ideally that's the way to do it. However, we have seen how voting early can turn the tide of an election. Yeah. And I've done it since then because I serve as an election judge most years. So I go and I vote early and it's so easy.
Absolutely.
It's so easy. And so the conservatives have really come around, have really embraced it. And like Lisa said, it seemed to make a difference for the national elections this year.
Okay.
Yep.
Other than Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people find you, call you?
Well, I sent some information to JP. You could always find me at the committees. I support a common sense education PAC.
Okay.
That's how you can support these municipal candidates, our school board candidates, to stop the invasion of socialists into our rural community. So check that out.
That's posted.
Yes, we have stuff there.
WinRed. Yep, WinRed. Yep, check that out. If you're inclined to throw some money behind some of these conservative candidates to keep us red and rural, in our rural areas, feel free to do so.
Well, thanks for being a guest first-time guest on this show.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Maybe we'll have you back and stay in touch.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, we got 50 seconds to go. And I thought the show went pretty darn good for being on a Thursday. I think we got a good amount of people listening, and we'll probably play this back maybe Monday or so. Monday or Tuesday,
I shared this too.
and we're going to see a lot of stuff on YouTube and from this show and from all the shorts my son does after this.
And of course, next Friday, August 15th, back at the regular time,
Yes.
8 o'clock Central Time.
Yes, we're going to chain you to that chair. Thank you so much for listening to the show and being constant and there for us. We'll be back for next week.
Learning lies to be